Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and it's game day for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Jay Semenix. Appreciate you tuning in. And while you're listening, you need to point your car to South Florida Street. We are live at R&J Saloon. We're here till 7-ish. I think we go a little bit late tonight as we get you all the way up to kickoff between the Cowboys and New Orleans Saints. And there's no better place to come watch the game today than with us out at R&J Saloon because, one, this is a cool spot. Two, we've got a lot of stuff to give away on this Thursday, on this game day. And when I say a lot of stuff to give away, I'm telling you what, the good people at Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, they have unloaded the prize closet. You can go to my Twitter, you go to my Instagram, or the SA Sports Star Twitter and Instagram. I put out a video, and you could see all the stuff that we have out. I mean, it's almost like one of those farmer market kind of setups, man, one of those Christmas bazaars, because Miller Lite, not only did they bring their Dallas Cowboy Miller Lite gear that we were giving away, they also broke out all their holiday stuff that they are giving away. And if you want an ugly sweater, you need to come see us here. And the great thing, we've got so much to give away. I promise you, everybody is going to win something. So I put the video out about 30 minutes ago. And, hey, how do I get one of those? You come down to R&J Saloon. Hey, can you save me that? Come down to R&J Saloon. The earlier you get here, the better your chance of winning great stuff is. There is a prize wheel that you have to spin. And on that prize wheel, there's only 2 loser spots. Everything else is a winner on that prize wheel. So, I mean, you have to be really special to hit one of those loser spots on one of those things. Now, one of the guys from the Racho Cowboy Tailgate crew, he found the loser spot already. So it's already taken up. It's there. It's amazing. And that guy, he won our Final Four flyaway thing a couple years ago. So we know he's a bit lucky. But if you want to come down here, you can win some stuff. And the Bracho Cowboys are also doing a toy drive. So if you want to bring something for that, do that. It's going to be a fun time today here at R&J Saloon. And if you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, when I talk about all the different stuff we have to give away, the jacket that I'm wearing right now, this Miller Lite Cowboys jacket, we're giving away these. We've got several of these. We've got these very cool Dallas Cowboy coats. This is what James Pledger wants. James Pledger, who hates the Dallas Cowboys, is like, how can I get one of those? How can I get? I would not let James Pledger have one of these. He would never wear it.
It's vintage. It's awesome.
It is. This is a cool coat. So I've got the giveaway pile and then my piles down over here. Ugly sweater stuff. This is James Pledger's. I'm going to actually bring this. James is the only one that gets a pass. Like I'll hold something for because he's stuck in the box back there at the studio. But you will see James wearing this next Saturday night at an ugly sweater party that he is going to. But we've got these Cowboy ugly sweaters to give away. Yeah, I'll probably be wearing this beanie next week in New York City when we're there for the Army-Navy game. Socks. You need socks. If you've got a dog that needs an ugly sweater, Miller Lite has you covered there too. These cool shirts. These were supposed to be given away in July, halfway to Christmas shirts, except for the world was shut down, so they've been in a box for a while. We've broken them out of the box. We are giving them away. We've got Cowboys hats that we are giving away. It's game day, so you're going to get a rally towel that you're going to be able to give away. I mean, we've got so much stuff to give away here from Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. You will walk away with a prize today. Come see us. Don't message me on Facebook saying, how do I get one of those? Steve Sosa, you get your ass down to R&J Saloon. It is that easy. Don't message me and say, can you hold that for me? Nope. I'm not going to hold anything for anybody except James Pledger because I know he's got the only excused absence because he's got to keep the show on the go here. Although this jacket, I could not let in good faith James Pledger get that jacket. I just couldn't. If that were a Houston Texans jacket, he would be all over, probably quit his job and get down here to try to claim that thing. But, you know, the Texans don't get nice things because they suck. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, it's true, but it hurts.
I mean, it's true. I mean, they don't. If you guys start winning again, I imagine Miller Lite will print up some stuff with the Texans. But right now, They have stuff. They just don't order it. They don't click, yeah, send that to me. We'll be able to give that away. Let's do a Texans watch party with 2. They're not going to do that. You want a good watch party, you get with the Dallas Cowboys, and that's what Miller Lite has done, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, and you come down here and you see us. Now, we will talk some Texans today. Our weekly with John McClain of the Houston Chronicle, although we've got a really good streak going with John McClain that we don't talk Texans when he is on with us. We talk real NFL football. We talk about all the other things that are going on in the NFL because, quite frankly, is there a better person to talk about the league than John McClain of the Houston Chronicle? We'll also go down to New Orleans. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. He will join us at 5 o'clock. We'll talk some college football today. Taylor McHargue, ESPN college football analyst, will join us in the 6 o'clock hour. And speaking of college football, Eric Morris, head football coach of the UIW Cardinals, he'll join us coming up in about 25 minutes. The Cardinals, after that incredible playoff win last week against Stephen F. Austin, they're on to round 2. They get Sam Houston State Saturday down in Huntsville at Bauer Stadium. That is a tough place to go play. Sam Houston State, those Bearcats ranked number 1 in the nation. They're the defending national champs basically with their entire team back. It's going to be a tough game for UIW on Saturday, but I've seen this team play, and I saw Sam Houston and UIW play last year at Cardinal Stadium when they were in the same conference, and it was a pretty good game. Sam ended up with the win, but I think that experience will help the Cardinals heading into this game. We'll talk about it coming up at 4:30 with Eric Morris. Now, if you're a UIW fan and you're looking for a place to go watch the game, they are having a watch party at Smoke Barbecue downtown. The game is Saturday at 2 o'clock. And I hope a lot more than parents go down there. I hope they get some students down there. I know they were taking some buses of students to go down there and support the Cardinals. If you need bar recommendations in Huntsville at Sam Houston State, let me know. My daughter did 4 years there. You got 2 options, the Jolly Fox or Shenanigans. I mean, that's it if you want the cheap college bars. Shenanigans does quarter night, so you can go in there buy a whole bunch of drinks for $8. It's not a bad place. If you're looking for a more adult bar, it's a place called Time Out. That's where all the prison guards go. Their beers are $3. At the Jolly Fox, they're $1.50. It's for a bottle of beer. It's incredible down there in Huntsville. Be fun. And then, of course, Friday night, San Antonio, the Alamo Dome, is going to be rocking with the UTSA Roadrunners in the Conference USA Championship game as they take on Western Kentucky. And what is amazing is if you watch the line for this game, Western Kentucky, all the money is going on the Hilltoppers, and the spread is getting bigger and bigger. The Roadrunners are going to be home underdogs for this game on Friday night. And I think there's 2 things in play. You still have the hangover effect from the poor outing against UNT last week. But also I just think Western Kentucky, with the way they've been scoring and the 7-game win streak that they're on, and quite frankly, a better-known national brand, I think when people are looking at where to put their money, that's what they're doing, and that is moving the line. I look at UTSA, this game, I don't know, 55, 60,000 are going to be there. Dr. Lisa Campos, the UTSA AD, said here on the Blitz yesterday that they have sold 30,000 tickets to the general public in San Antonio. That doesn't include the student tickets. Now, with all the money that was raised in that effort spearheaded by April Ann Sierra, that is now over $100,000, those students go claim those free tickets and go to the game. You might have 20, 25,000 student tickets in that building as well. And then, of course, at San Antonio, you're going to have the walk-up crowd. And you get with that walk-up crowd, I mean, I'd like to see 60 in there. I think it'd be incredible to see 60. I think it'd be a major disappointment if there's only 40,000 in the Alamo Dome. And I've told everybody all week, call in sick. Take the day off. I am. I'm taking the day off tomorrow. I mean, you're going to hear who's in for me tomorrow. Is it Jimenez and Quinn Hudson?
I have no clue.
Yeah, me neither.
All I know is you're not here.
I won't be there tomorrow. About this time tomorrow, I will be drinking in the Alamo Dome parking lot. I'm ready for this game.
Late start, isn't it?
I said about this time I'll be in the parking lot. I didn't say I'm going to get started at 4 o'clock. I mean, there is a difference there. See, Pledge, you've got to listen carefully to what I'm not getting to the Alamo Dome at 4 o'clock to start tailgating. But I will say this, having experienced the Alamo Dome in some UTSA games this year, with the crowd that they are expecting, don't wait until 5:30, 5:45 to shut it down in the parking lot if you want to see kickoff. Because going through security at the Dome is like being at the airport Thanksgiving weekend and you don't have TSA pre-check. I mean, it is a pretty slow process. I hope they add some extra people, but I'm not anticipating that they will. And even if they do, with that kind of crowd, you just know it's not going to be a quick entry. This isn't 2 years ago where you could walk up right at kickoff and still see kickoff. I mean, there's going to be so many people there. And I hope a whole lot of people are planning to take the day off of work, call in sick, do whatever. Hopefully you've got a cool boss that says if you've got tickets to the game, you'll be able to go to the game and not take any time off. Or again, if you need a doctor note, we'll create one. We'll make one up. If Jerry Jones can play doctor on the radio every week, we can give you an excused absence slip. I mean, just make one up and put it on social media. Go sign it. I just can't imagine a boss in this climate would tell you, no, you can't take off early to get down to the Alamo Dome. It's a Friday night, 6 o'clock game. It's holiday time. Be there. It's going to be fun. And did you see the uniforms they released for this game, Pledge? All blue. These uniforms are nice, clean look.
Nice.
I was surprised they waited till today to release it. I was kind of hoping that they would go back to the original UTSA uniform with that logo on their helmet. You know, the team that Larry Coker led onto the field for that first game in front of their largest crowd ever, which is 56,000 and change. I thought that would be a pretty cool gesture for them to do that. But I'm not mad at what they came out with. I mean, those are clean looks. I tweeted it earlier, or retweeted their tweet from UTSA Equipment. It's incredible how the equipment game in college football is such a big part of the overall experience, and what those guys can come up with week in and week out with what they are going to wear. And the other part of this, too, is it's on national television. You know, this isn't on a streaming service. It will be on CBS Sports Network, so you got to go find that. It's going to be on every bar in San Antonio, and they are going to have a good, clean look, which is a big part of the recruiting game in today's world of college football. So you go from there and get down to the Dome early. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night down in the Alamo Dome. I'm getting tweets. Valerie Romo says, I need a doctor note for tomorrow. I'll write you one. I'll write you one. That's pretty easy to do. Just print one off. I've got doctor handwriting if you've ever seen my signature. You know, and the great part is, even if you just left at lunch and didn't show up on a Friday, by the time Monday rolls around, your boss will have forgotten that you didn't come back to work. I mean, I think that's possible. I mean, I think that's there. I mean, it works for Greg Shelton on most days. Greg Shelton is the king of, I'm going to go do a site check and never just make it back to work. That's what it boils down to. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. We are here till kickoff, Cowboys and Saints. And again, we'll talk a lot about the Cowboys throughout the show today. And this week, I've gone on a roller coaster with my expectations for this game. You look at all the players and COVID going around, everybody woke up today and they tested negative. So there's no day of game crap that Cowboys or Cowboy fans have to deal with when it comes to COVID. You're without your coach, and you're without some other dudes, and you're without Terrence Steele. Everybody else is good to go, including Amari Cooper. And I've been nervous about this game all week because the Cowboys have been in a funk. The Cowboys are definitely in a slump. I think Dak Prescott is definitely in a slump. Just he hasn't been on target. His passes haven't been as accurate. And that's a lot more than just not having Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. The offensive line has been shaky at best, and we know that. All that does play in to the efficiency of your quarterback, and I understand that. But as I wake up today, and as we sit here now, 4 o'clock, about 3 hours away from kickoff, and I'm looking at all the injuries that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be dealing with tonight from the New Orleans side. New Orleans is more beat up than the Cowboys. You get Demarcus Lawrence back in a game where New Orleans is going to be without their 2 tackles. And they're good offensive linemen. And I look at Micah Parsons, and I fully expect Micah Parsons to shadow Taysom Hill in this game tonight. Rookie of the month, all the accolades he's gotten, all of that is in play. I just look at the Cowboys. They need to not only win, but they need to win convincingly tonight. Or I'm calling in sick tomorrow. No, I'm already calling in sick tomorrow. But it would if they squeak out this game tonight, or they lose this game tonight, I think you can officially hit the panic button when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys on this season. I mean, when you look at this game, as beat up as the New Orleans Saints are on both sides of the ball, the Cowboys should win this game convincingly. Run the ball down their throat. I'm working on that cough for tomorrow. Run the ball down their throat with Pollard, with Zeke. You get Amari Cooper back. Guys typically aren't good in their first game after COVID, but just the fact that Amari Cooper is going to be on the field, he'll get separation. He'll run better routes. That's going to open up CeeDee Lamb. That's going to open up Michael Gallup. That's going to open up the tight end. And even Pollard in the pass game. And Zeke is such a great pass blocker. You know, I was nervous about this game on Tuesday. I was nervous about this game yesterday. I woke up today feeling like if the Cowboys don't go in there and just kick those New Orleans Saints' ass, it's a problem. I mean, even if they win this game 27-24 or 17-14, if it's low scoring, I think you can officially hit the panic button on this Dallas Cowboys team. This offense needs to find that gear again. They need to find that confidence. This game should remind you of what they did to the Atlanta Falcons on both sides of the ball, because New Orleans is dealing with that many injuries. And the key injuries that they have, no Alvin Kamara. They're going to get Mark Ingram back. Taysom Hill hasn't played in weeks, and he's got plantar fasciitis. He ain't 100% healed. And with Taysom Hill, you worry more about his run abilities than his passing abilities, but he might have success running the ball in the first quarter. But where's his foot going to be when it comes third quarter, when it's in the fourth quarter after he's played for 4 quarters? Dude has had 3 practices since he's come off of the injured list, where he's able to get out there and play. That's not a lot of practice time, and practice is so different than game time. I just look at this game, and I just feel like the Cowboys need to reinsert themselves as the dominant team that they looked like at the beginning of the year. You know, you look at the first 7 games, the scoring, the yards, the rushing yards, and the last 4 games. I mean, their rushing yards over the first 7 games were about 150 per. The last 4 games, they're 85. Their scoring has dropped tremendously. And when you look at, now that we're in December, and what Mike McCarthy has talked about, what Jerry Jones has talked about, what every player has talked about, get healthy at the right time. Well, they're getting healthy now, and it is the right time for the Cowboys to be healthy. You look at the schedule coming up with, after tonight, it's all NFC East opponents except for that one game with the Arizona Cardinals. You look at Washington's playing better football. They're only 2 games back. They got 2 games with Washington coming up. They got the game with the Giants, a game with the Eagles, and that game with the Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys, you go into New Orleans and dominate on national TV, that confidence is back. How many times in the last couple of weeks have you heard Dak Prescott say that they're a pissed-off group? Then go play like it. Go play like a pissed-off group. Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn, no Mike McCarthy. I'm curious to see how the team responds to no Mike McCarthy. I don't know. Does the dude give a pregame speech over Zoom and fire everybody up? Does he get them motivated that way? I know how Dan Quinn is. Having watched Dan Quinn in Oxnard when we were out there for Cowboys training camp, and I'd never really been around Dan Quinn before, but that dude is enthusiastic and energetic. And I can't say that I remember that from Dan Quinn when he was head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, but I know when we were in Oxnard watching him work with his defense, turn his cap back down, he'd line up at linebacker, he'd line up at defensive tackle. He's one of those hands-on, energetic coaches. I hope we see that tonight without losing anything on what he does in calling the defense. And his experience as a head coach, if you're in a situation where you've got to decide when you're going to challenge, if you're going to decide in the 2-minute offense when you're going to burn timeouts, all that kind of stuff, he should know all that. He should be able to do all of those duties and call the defense for this one game against New Orleans. I don't want to sound overconfident because I know that's still Sean Payton on the other side. But this New Orleans team, as beat up as they are, even with a great coach like Sean Payton, they're just so shorthanded tonight. There is no excuse for the Dallas Cowboys not to win this game, and there's really no excuse for the Dallas Cowboys not to completely dominate this game tonight against the New Orleans Saints. It's New Orleans, though, where things happen. And I think that's why I've been a bit on this roller coaster all week, because it's New Orleans. You still have that fear that, it's New Orleans and it's Sean Payton. And New Orleans is a tough place to go play, especially on a Thursday night. They started drinking yesterday for this game. Following some of the Cowboys media, certainly feels like a lot of Cowboy fans made a road trip down to New Orleans, and why not? Let's go to a game on a Thursday night in New Orleans and spend the weekend down there at the Big Easy. So hopefully they'll make a lot of noise in that building, and it kind of feels like, with the number of Cowboy fans that you expect to see there based on some of the reports and the videos you saw last night from Bourbon Street, kind of feels like a lot of New Orleans fans do what Cowboy fans do. And, hey, man, Cowboys are coming to town. Our team sucks. I'm going to pay for these season tickets by selling one game. And I'm good with that. Make it a good road trip. But I look at tonight's game. Key, defensively, get some pressure on Taysom Hill. Get your takeaways. It's been a couple of games since Diggs has had a pick. He needs one. Anthony Brown, I'm very curious to watch Anthony Brown tonight and see how he responds to the awful game he had a week ago on Thanksgiving. 4 pass interference penalties called against him. And when you look at the ref for tonight, he has a history of throwing lots of penalties against the Cowboys. And sometimes I see those and I go, well, you get all these refs, and you got some refs that throw a lot of flags and some don't, but this guy seems to throw a lot against the Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys just commit too many penalties. Maybe they just have to be more disciplined. The Cowboys have to do that tonight. And Anthony Brown has to play smart football. But how do you change his game without completely hurting his confidence? And that's, I think, the curious part about what you're going to see tonight from Anthony Brown. He can't play off. He can't play different. He can't play timid and play defensive back in the NFL. So where's that fine line? I'm curious to see how the Cowboys have coached him up this weekend, because I think that's going to be a big role for tonight's game. Play aggressive, just smart. And my goodness, turn your head around. It's the most basic rule in football. Now, obviously, it's easier said than done. I get that. But on, 2 of those last week, if he just turns his head, everybody that watches football knows they wouldn't have got called for those penalties. And I want to see a more balanced attack tonight offensively. If Dak is throwing it north of 40, Cowboys aren't going to win. I mean, statistically, that's just a fact. This is a run-first football team, and they need to stay run first. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We are live down at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. Cowboys Saints tonight. It's a Miller Lite Cowboys watch party. We've got all kinds of Miller Lite Cowboys gear to give away, Miller Lite holiday gear to give away. Come see us here. Watch the game with us. You come by, you're going to win something. Miller Lite has brought so many prizes. We've got our own stuff that we are giving away. You want free stuff? Come see us here at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. We are here until kickoff, but it's not like we're going to pack up right away and leave because Cowboys game is going to be on. We're going to enjoy those Miller Lite long necks as soon as the Blitz is done. Coming up, Eric Morris, head football coach of the UIW Cardinals. He will join us as they get ready to take on Sam Houston State in the second round of the FCS playoffs. That game Saturday in Huntsville. Let me tell you about Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex. Very easy for me to tell you about and recommend Ancira because I am a long-time Ancira customer. Through the years, I have bought many vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. When you start that car buying process, they are going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They will give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and you know price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira Itonado complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner. UIW head coach Eric Morris joins us next right after Sports Center with James Pledger.
Thanks a lot, Jason. The Cowboys are 7-4 on the year, but have lost 3 of their last 4 and 2 straight as they look to get back on track tonight as they're in New Orleans to take on the Saints. New Orleans will be without Alvin Kamara, who's been ruled out with knee soreness, while the Cowboys are getting back wide receivers Amari Cooper, who's missed the last 2 games due to COVID, and CeeDee Lamb, who missed the last game with concussion. Defensive end Demarcus Lawrence was activated off the injured reserve and is also expected to return tonight after missing the last 10 weeks with a broken foot. Kickoff between the Saints and Cowboys is set for 7:20, and it's a game you can catch right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Dallas will also be without head coach Mike McCarthy, who tested positive for COVID-19 earlier in the week, as Dan Quinn will serve as head coach. In other Cowboy news, rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was named the Defensive Rookie of the Month for the month of November after totaling 25 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles in November. Finally, in the NBA, the Spurs look to stretch their first win streak of the season to 3 games as they open up a 3-game road trip tonight in Portland with the Trailblazers. Tip-off is set for 9 o'clock. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's been a long week for the Dallas Cowboys off of the field with suspensions, players returning from injury, and health and safety protocols. But it's finally game day for the Dallas Cowboys as they head into the Superdome to face the Saints. A game that can be heard right here on San Antonio Sports Star with kickoff at 7:20. The 2 NBA teams from Texas picked up wins last night. The Houston Rockets edge out the Thunder 114-110 to make it 4 in a row to follow their 15-game losing streak, as well as the Dallas Mavericks improving to 11-9 with a 139-107 win over the Pelicans. And the San Antonio Spurs start a 3-game West Coast road trip tonight in Portland as they go up against the Trailblazers without Damian Lillard, who will be out at least 10 days with abdominal tendonitis. Tip-off is set for 9 p.m. Central. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Thomas J. Henry has been featured in Forbes magazine, Fortune magazine, and Bloomberg Business Week for securing record-breaking results for clients injured in accidents. For more info or to start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com. San Antonio, Texas.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother Thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of diamonds. A diamond pendant, a diamond anniversary band, a pair of diamond earrings. And around here, the diamond destination is Diamonds Direct. With our decades of experience, our worldwide connections, our legendary value, Diamonds Direct is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Can't miss gifts with lasting value and beauty. And now, through the end of December, you can get 4 years, 0 interest financing on any holiday purchase. If you're planning an engagement this holiday season, this special finance offer includes all of our designer engagement rings and all certified diamonds. Buy now, spread your payments over 4 years with 0 interest. Say I love you louder than ever this holiday with the gift of diamonds from Diamonds Direct. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com. Unapproved credit. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, you know the place to be tonight is at R&J Saloon down on South Flores Street. Jason Minix here. We are live right now at R&J Saloon with the Blitz and our friends at Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, because we're having a huge watch party for tonight's Cowboys-Saints game. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite long necks during the game. You can also register to win some great Miller Lite Dallas Cowboy gear and other great holiday stuff. So get down here to R&J Saloon right now on South Flores Street.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. And right now at Wendy's, they're only $1 each.
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, just $1.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet your buck on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price of participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo. Excludes honey butter chicken biscuit.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Moscato, Vodka, Tequila, Blitzen. Happy holidays. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores for a Miller Lite Cowboy Saints watch party. We got so much stuff to give away from Miller Lite, all their ugly sweaters, Cowboys Miller Lite gear, including an OtterBox. I think some dude just won one of those. Just spin the prize wheel. You're going to win something down here. Eric Morris, head football coach of the UIW Cardinals. You've been watching tape of Sam Houston all week. You might need to come down here and have a drink with us before you head down to Huntsville, man.
They're pretty damn good, I'll tell you that much. There's a reason they've won 21 straight games and been ranked number one in the nation for a long time. So, yeah, we'll have our hands full, but love our chances, love our team. We're going to go fight them.
Well, and that's it. And I think about, we talked about this when the bracket came out. I don't like, me personally, how the FCS regionalized the brackets and you play Stephen F. Austin, and now you've got Sam Houston State in the second round, the number one team in the country. But let's talk about last week's game. That was a fun environment there at Benson Stadium, and you pull that thing out in overtime. Man, what a game.
Yeah, I mean, just speaks volume for our coaches and players. I mean, the resiliency this team has. I mean, we started this mantra of finish. And boy, has that come to fruition over and over this year. I mean, and the cool thing was, our kids, they just don't get bothered by when we get down, when adversity hits. You see some kids on certain teams where, they just go in the dumps after that. I mean, I had more defensive guys come up to me after we fumbled. They go and score, go up with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And, our whole defense is surrounded around our offense, and they're saying, hey, go score like you always do. We'll stop them. Let's take this thing into overtime. We'll go win it. Like, this is so simple. And lo and behold, it wasn't that easy. We had some fourth down conversions. A lot of great things happened that last drive. The defense played unbelievable down the stretch there. Coach Thiesen's just done a phenomenal job with that group all year, continuing to find ways to grow that group on that side. So super proud. But, yeah, we're fighters. I'll tell you that much.
You certainly are. And I'll tell you what, the mental toughness that your team shows, because it was a back and forth game. I mean, Stephen F. Austin, that's probably the best Stephen F. Austin team I've seen in years, right? And they get one of the freakiest fat man defensive lineman touchdowns. And I think mentally that would break a lot of other teams. And it didn't break yours. First off, when you went and watched the film, take me through that sequence. What happened?
And it was a point in the game where we thought, liked our chances of the amount of time on, our defense got a big stop there. They punted to us, went back to just an inside zone play that we ran. Actually, it was a counter play, but an inside run scheme with Kevin Brown. We'd liked it all game, had, a couple of 5 and 6 yard gains on them, close to splitting them. So went back to just a simple thing we'd run a million times. Probably the safest play I could call on my call sheet. And then all of a sudden I look up and, there is a 300-pound, great athletic D lineman running, into the end zone. I'm like, holy smoke, how does that happen? But just like you said, I mean, that was a time where a bunch of people, I think they would have blinked. They would have had some anxiety and not been able to go out there and perform at a high level to go score against a great defense. And we didn't do it. We drove it down a methodical drive and get it all the way down to the 6 yard line on 4th and 2, and Cam Ward has an unbelievable play to throw a ball into cover 2 that most quarterbacks don't see.
Absolutely. It was a fun game. And then, of course, the final play of the game, you've got to get a defensive stop. And, I've been up and down with you on it, and I always try to be honest. I mean, there's been sometimes I scratch my head at your defense and just hope you outscore them. But when you've needed them to show up, especially late in the season, they've made the plays. And they made the defensive plays in overtime. And what they did on that 4th down play was incredible, because that quarterback seemed to have the ball for about 10 minutes looking for somebody open.
Oh, they've always been great. And Coach Thiessen always had something crazy for those particular situations. I mean, even the nickel situation, we went out and played a total different defense we'd shown on film. The whole entire year we put 2 defensive linemen in. And we had, I think, 2 minus 11. We had 9 defensive backs in against nickels. Now the same thing here. We call timeout. We go into just the craziest defense you've ever seen. Put a pressure on them. Get Kalechi and Lebechi rushing the passer. Double team number 2, who was such a good player for them. And so credit to our coaches for having a great plan for when those situations come up.
Eric Morris joining us here on the Blitz. He's the head football coach of the UIW Cardinals, the Southland Conference Coach of the Year, a finalist for the Eddie Robinson National Coach of the Year. I mean, you're collecting all these awards, and your team is a big reason for that. Now you got Sam Houston in the second round, and I think anybody that follows FCS football understands the tradition they have at Sam Houston State. And I know you're building to have that down the road. But you guys have played them, this group, last year in the spring, and they didn't graduate a whole lot of guys. Is that good or bad for your preparation?
I think it's good. The one unique thing is they brought everybody back. Their team's pretty much the exact same, where we've added some key pieces to our puzzle. We have some key contributors on both sides that are graduate transfers or transfers from other 4 years, a couple of junior college kids. So, I think we know kind of what we're going to get with them. I mean, a really good, solid team on all 3 phases. Now with them, it's going to be a little bit different for them. I mean, we got some, guys and some wide receivers, some defensive linemen, a running back, some guys that they hadn't seen before. And so, I think we've improved a lot, which obviously they've improved too. They've played 10 games. They're 10-0. I mean, it's not like they're slouching, but I think that we've improved a ton since we played in. We got hit by COVID the first time, didn't have a ton of O-linemen. So yeah, I mean, we get a great opportunity to go out there and shock the world, and excited to watch our kids go do it.
One of the things that I've heard Casey Keeler, the Sam Houston head coach, say, and he's mentioned it a couple of times throughout the regular season, is, you know, they played the spring season and then you go win a national championship in May, and then you turn around and now you're playing this full season. He's got a tired, beat-up football team. How do you take advantage of that?
Yeah, and they've had time to rest. I mean, he's putting some stuff in now, and I agree with him. It's a lot, but they only played 10 games, which was smart of them. They played one less than everybody else, and then they got a bye week last week. So, you know, you get to this point in the season. I mean, we're in week 14 for us. We also played a spring season. I mean, there's a bunch that goes into it, but you know, and I think injuries play a key factor. But I think both sides are pretty healthy. And it's gonna be a fun game. I mean, he's done an unbelievable job at building that roster. About to go FBS here in a couple of years, and so it might be the last chance for us, you know, to knock them off as the FCS program.
And you look at that, when you look at what Sam does offensively, or how they play on the defensive side, what's kept you up this week? Is it trying to scheme against their defense, or trying to figure out how to slow down that Eric Schmidt led offense?
You know, they're so good in all three. And then you add, you know, their punt returner was All-American last year and has taken a ton back and all-conference performer again. So I think they're just so complete. I mean, that's what we've talked about. I mean, I think one big thing in this game for us is we're going to have to start fast. You know, they've had a tendency where they've jumped on some people really early. You know, I'm watching film the other day. It's still in the second quarter, and, you know, it shows the score in between each play on film with no audio. So I'm looking up, there's 3 minutes left in the second quarter, and it's already 52-0. And because I noticed because they're already taking some of their starters out, and I'm like, holy smokes, that happened in a hurry. And so I think it'll be key for us to start fast. And then, too, I mean, we can't give them anything. I mean, we're going to really we can't have turnovers, give them extra possession. You know, we can't come out and have some dumb penalties to, you know, put ourselves in some bad situations on self-inflicted wounds. So we're going to have to play a great game. We're going to have to start fast. We're going to have to protect the football.
UIW at Sam Houston, Saturday, 2 o'clock, obviously on ESPN+, but a big watch party planned for a smoked barbecue. So go down there, be with a bunch of Cardinals at that event as you're watching the game out there. And for you, another road trip. And in Huntsville, I know sometimes when you've gone to Louisiana or Lamar, you don't stay in the city. You get somewhere close and drive in. What's your plans for this weekend?
Yeah, North Houston, Woodlands area, St. Woodlands. But, you know, it's 40 miles or so to the stadium, and so we'll stay there. A bunch of our guys are from Houston. A bunch of our fans are traveling in. Heard it's going to be a great atmosphere. So excited to have our kids experience a true, you know, FCS playoff atmosphere. Last week it was incredible, probably the best atmosphere we've ever had here at the Nest. Ended up 6-0 here, and now we're on to the next one and playing the national champs in their place. I mean, it doesn't get more exciting than that.
So what I actually heard you say is you're going to have the bus and stay right by Buc-ee's there in Katy.
No Buc-ee's. I got the itinerary today. I was a little bit disappointed. No Buc-ee's on the way down there because we have to go on some loop around. On the way back, mandatory Buc-ee's stop.
Mandatory Buc-ee's on the way back. I think you're the head coach. You could probably get them to drive down a little bit, turn around, stop at Buc-ee's, then you get on that loop, that toll road loop thing to avoid going all the way through Houston before you get to 45. Yeah, that cutaway there. It's going to be fun stuff.
I'll talk to them, see if I can get a change.
I mean, do they not know you? I mean, if I know you have to stop at Buc-ee's, how do they not know that?
Mandatory Buc-ee's stop.
Yeah, head coach Eric Morris joining us here on the Blitz. I know you're focused on Sam. Can I ask you a couple of knucklehead college football type questions?
Always. All
right. So obviously this week you see Lincoln Riley leave OU to go to USC. You see Kelly leave Notre Dame to go to LSU. And these coaches say, Lincoln Riley, hardest decision ever made, said he didn't have any conversation with USC, he or his agent, until after they lost the Bedlam game to Oklahoma State. Do you buy that?
You know, maybe with him would be the only one, just because I think he's earned that right, and he's such a big name that he could put somebody off that long and someone still wants him. But the majority of these things, I mean, the more I've gotten into it is, everything that we saw coming out, I mean, it's been started, a month or two before, and people are doing the research, talking to agents. Now you have search firms, now you have the agents, then you have the athletic directors, all in this intertwined circle, where I think they do a pretty good job of keeping things under wrap. And the one thing that they do a really good job of is they put false things out there to the media for everybody to take these bites, when really they want you to divert because something totally different behind the scenes is going on. And so yeah, I mean, hard position. I mean, for people to be getting this type of money these days, I mean, just life-changing for generations, and then still have the the love that you built for these players and these families and the staff. I mean, it's a hard position to be in. I think it's a no-win situation either way. I mean, for these meetings, I saw someone, taped, Kelly's meeting. It was 4 minutes and everybody's on him. I mean, I think you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in those certain situations.
And again, I agree with you. I mean, you've got to make the best decision for you and your family. And, sometimes it is you want a new challenge. Sometimes it is money or the unlimited use of a private plane, whatever the perks end up being. And I just got to believe you've known about it for a long time. When you were with Mike Leach and, you're at Washington State and then you're not. I mean, that doesn't just come around like overnight. Like, hey, I got a phone call. We just lost a game. You're going to offer me how much? Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, I just, but with the early signing day, how much does that impact coaches having to decide right now, this is when we're going?
Oh, it's been huge. And I think, these coaches are getting fired so early in the season, so that you can get ahead of it only for recruiting, and I think, Texas Tech's a great example of that. I mean, Joey McGuire, who's known as, a guy that could go out and his forte in Texas can be recruiting. And so, they make a decision with a guy who had 5 wins and was about to go to a bowl game so they could jump ahead and sign people. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, and there's so much money in this business, and then there's so much money tied by donors, and then, everybody wants to talk about these buyouts. And at these big schools, I mean, at LSU, I mean, that's about 5 phone calls away from gathering up enough money to make this stuff happen, because they want to, have bragging rights and win games and try to get to the national championship. So it's become a business. Obviously, coaches, I think, enjoy the fact now that they're getting paid more money. Never bad, but there's so much that comes along with that. And too, it's never easy. And I think it's only going to get harder as this thing continues to go the way it is.
Although watching this, I don't think I ever want to hear a coach complain about the transfer portal again.
I agree with that. Now, and I was against the transfer portal to start. And then too, we've had positive and negatives with the transfer portal, but I've had kids leave here because they were not having a good experience here, or, for some reason, this wasn't the right place for them, and they've left here and they've gone on to be successful somewhere else. And so I think, these kids, everybody's in different times in their lives. There's different outside circumstances going on. I mean, at the end of the day, we want these kids to get their degree. We want them to have the best experience possible in college and go in to be great, members of society. Football teaches you, all this discipline, how to go through adversity, how to be a fighter. And so at the end of the day, that's what football's about. That's what it needs to continue to be about.
Absolutely. Eric Morris, head football coach of the UIW Cardinals. They have Sam Houston State on the road in Huntsville Saturday, 2:00. Big watch party planned for Smoke Barbecue downtown. Of course, you won't be at that. You're going to be in Huntsville. Go shock the world, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. My buddies too are coming in to play UTSA. What's your prediction on UTSA? Have you made a prediction yet?
I have not. UTSA has got their hands full, and they've got to get some stops. I mean, that quarterback they have out of Victoria, I mean, that kid is good. But I think
we saw him, firsthand for the last 2 years here.
I tell you what, though, Eric, you tell me. I think the loss last week was probably good for UTSA. They had a pissed off week of practice.
It probably recharged the batteries, no doubt. And Jeff's done a phenomenal job. He's a great leader. So I'm interested. It'll be a fun one to watch. I'll be tuned in tomorrow night to watch them duke it out in the dome.
It's going to be fun. Hopefully a great weekend for the Birds of San Antonio. Eric, appreciate it, man. Good luck.
Have a great weekend.
Eric Morris, head football coach of the UIW Cardinals, again on the road against Sam Houston State. And what I love is, we know here in San Antonio, Jeff Traylor will promote and talk about what they're doing at UIW. Same thing from Eric Morris. It's just such a good time for college football in San Antonio. And you think about the game on Friday night, the tailgating in the parking lot tomorrow at the Alamo Dome. You're going to tailgate. You're going to have sausage as part of your mix, right? You can't just have the best sausage out there. That is Kielbasa smoked meats. They're Kielbasa sausage. Kielbasa, great San Antonio company, started here in 1949. And you know what makes them great besides everything? Is the length of their sausage was designed to fit perfectly in a tortilla because it's a San Antonio company. So sausage wraps tomorrow in the Alamo Dome parking lot. Make sure you get into the store, get your cold beverages, get your tortillas, and make sure you get some Kielbasa sausage today.
2 teams, 22 players, and over 100,000 screaming maniacs. Your home for Cowboys football on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250. And 94.5 FM.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local HEB and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds. O'Reilly.
This is Claudia's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
I had just moved to a new city and barely even knew where the grocery store was yet. When my car wouldn't start one morning, I didn't know who to ask about local shops. But I remembered a name from back home, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I called and they pointed me to a great mechanic just down the street. Now I feel a little more at home.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
According to NHTSA, in 2019, more than 5,000 people were killed in crashes involving large trucks in the U.S. If you were injured in an 18-wheeler accident, contact Thomas J. Henry. To start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 in 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart, Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
Hey folks, Bob at Barbecue Outfitters, and it's time for our giant holiday sale. Barbecue Outfitters is your holiday gift-giving headquarters for all the men and women in your life that love to cook in the backyard. It's the ultimate toy store in Central Texas. Barbecue Outfitters has dozens of grill brands, including the Big Green Egg, Kamado Joe, Traeger grills, Weber grills, and the incredible Tech infrared grills. Barbecue Outfitters has pellet grills, offset smokers, wood-burning fire pits made here in Texas, fireplace gas logs, and dozens of other grills and smokers all on sale. Barbecue Outfitters has great smaller gift items too, like spices, cooking accessories, cookbooks, and gift baskets. We're also offering a $50 delivery special that includes a big red bow, and best of all, we assemble for free. We call it the Save Your Marriage service. No more, hey, what do I do with all these extra parts? So get yourself down to Barbecue Outfitters for our giant holiday sale and get that gift that'll make you a hero. Barbecue Outfitters on North Loop 1604 at Chavano Park and at bbqoutfitters.com. Come and see us.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right-hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Greeny, weekdays 10 a.m. to noon on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We're live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. As we get you ready for Cowboys and Saints tonight, you come see us. We've got a ton of Miller Lite gear to give away. We've got Miller Lite Cowboys gear, including some cool jackets and the OtterBox coolers. We've got their Miller Lite ugly Christmas sweaters. Although I'm looking at what Greg Shelton is wearing, and that's not ugly. That's not ugly. I mean, that looks like something Greg Shelton would wear every day of the week. I mean, it's not just for Christmas, although you got to understand Greg would actually wear that in July. But all kinds of cool stuff. You come by here, you will win something. I can promise you that. We've got so many prizes to give away. What's the beer price, Renee? $2 Miller Lights? $2 Miller Lights all night. The long necks, the full bar. $2 beers all night long. $2 Miller Lights here at R&J Saloon. So come by and see us here. We're going until kickoff and sticking around well after, but come hang out with us at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. DeMarvin Leal has declared for the NFL draft. Former Judson product, has been at Texas A&M, a defensive end. He's going to be a first-rounder. He does not say in his Instagram posts declaring for the NFL draft that he's skipping the bowl game, but my guess is he is going to skip the bowl game since he has already declared for the NFL, which is very, very cool. And maybe one day some kids will randomly dial a phone and end up with DeMarvin Leal on the other end. Imagine you're a high school basketball team from the state of Michigan, and you're adding a friend to the group chat, but you're a digit off. And you know who answers on the other end? Tom freaking Brady. These basketball players from Michigan, kids, high school kids, add a number to the group chat and they mess up. And Tom Brady is on the other end. And these kids ended up FaceTiming with Tom Brady, with Gronk, and with Leonard Fournette. How cool is that? That Tom did that and then probably blocked the number. But imagine, I mean, do you answer random phone calls? And if somebody FaceTimes me that's not my daughter, I never answer it. I mean, that's just bizarre. And in the WhatsApp, you get all the random people that will send you a message. I never answer that. What the hell is Tom Brady answering his phone from an unknown number? But how cool, A, that he answered. But two, for that team, dude, that's a story those boys will tell forever. And, of course, they were screenshotting everybody. And Tom Brady seemed to be very cool with it. Cool stuff for those kids in Michigan. But who answers the random call? Every time I see a number that I don't recognize, especially if it's from, like, Moon Park, California, I know they're trying to sell me an extended warranty. But Tom Brady answers his phone, even from unknown numbers. It's insane. Let's talk some Cowboys and Saints. We'll head down to New Orleans. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com will join us next. I know today's not the day to say it's going to get cold because today's just been gorgeous, but you know it's going to get cold. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on your winter gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club down on San Pedro. Sam has that winter line on display now in his showroom. Hoodies, jackets, coats, half zips, beanies, and he's got all the big name brands: North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Port Authority, just to name a few. You're thinking about holiday gift ideas for your employees. What about a jacket with your company logo on it or a half zip? Sam has plenty of inventory in stock, including caps. In fact, Sam has the largest selection of caps in stock, including the popular Richardson style cap. He has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. And not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands. No order too big, no order too small. And all items do come with a warranty. Call Sammy's Embroidery Club at 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom. It's on San Pedro, about a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. Go to the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start.
North, south, east, west. Step back for three. Bang, got it.
The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling.
Deep three straight away. Oh, we got another one.
And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right-hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If your definition of free time means arguing with your spouse, you might want to pick a new hobby. Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas? Diamonds Direct is here to help with our most dazzling selection ever and 4 years zero-interest financing. Imagine the look in her eyes opening that box and seeing an elegant diamond tennis bracelet or a stunning pair of diamond earrings. Diamonds Direct showcases are fully stocked with the classics, as well as the latest trendy fashion jewelry from world-class designers. Unique, one-of-a-kind items you can't find anywhere else. And if you need help, our experts will guide you, respecting your price range and offering tips on the can't-miss gifts for this season. You'll get the unbeatable value price Diamonds Direct is known for. Plus, spread your payments over 4 years, 48 whole months with zero interest. This December, give the gift that sends the message of love like nothing else. A beautiful, meaningful, and memorable piece of jewelry from Diamonds Direct. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Yeah! Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix, and it's a Dallas Cowboys game day. We are live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores. We are with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Man, they have unloaded the prize closet. We've got so much Miller Lite Cowboys gear to give away. We've got jackets, we've got hats, we've got the Miller Lite Cowboys OtterBox coolers that we're giving away. We've got all the Miller Lite ugly sweater stuff that we are giving away. Everybody that shows up at R&J Saloon will win something. There are so many prizes here. You will win something. Let's talk about tonight's game. Big one against the New Orleans Saints. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com joining us now. Mickey, how's the Big Easy?
It's easy right now, but normally it hasn't been easy for the Cowboys once the game starts the last several years up here in the Superdome.
I agree. And, you know, Mickey, all week I've kind of gone back and forth in my mind about how this game is going to go. But when I look at the injuries that the New Orleans Saints are dealing with, and Demarcus Lawrence coming back, an Amari Cooper coming back, I'm kind of at the point now as we're 2 hours from kickoff. If the Cowboys don't win this convincingly, it might be time to hit the panic button.
You know what? I think the stretch they've gone through, the injuries the Cowboys still have, and I don't know how much Demarcus Lawrence and can play in this game or how much Amari Cooper can play in this game. You got to remember, Demarcus Lawrence last played on September 9th, and then he went on injured reserve. And he didn't play in any preseason games and didn't have any contact in training camp. So I don't know. I just don't see him playing 60, 65 snaps in the game. I could be wrong, but I would imagine they're going to kind of limit his snaps to maybe half, third downs, passing situations, things like that. And then for Cooper, kind of the same thing because, he just, it was November 19th when he tested positive, and he really hasn't had a full practice and certainly hasn't had pads on. So again, I'm not sure how much he'll be able to play. And then, Jason, you got to factor in that they're missing 6 coaches in this game: the head coach and maybe even more importantly, the 2 offensive line coaches. So other coaches are going to have to double up. So my take on this game, I don't care if it's a 1-point win, 2, 3 style, doesn't matter. They just need to get the 8th win somehow, some way. If it takes 4 quarters, if it takes 5 quarters, they need to be able to just win the game.
Just win the game. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. He might be asked to coach some offensive line tonight. Who knows? Mickey, I don't want to sound too childish with a question like this, but with Mike McCarthy not there and him being involved with all the game planning through Zoom and whatnot, Dan Quinn, with his experiences being a head coach, although I kind of thought it would be fossil just so Dan Quinn could focus on the defense. But how much do you think they really will miss Mike McCarthy tonight during this one game?
Well, here's where I think it hurts the most. Dan Quinn's now got to do 2 things, right? He's got to coordinate the defense normally, but he won't do it from up in the coach's box where he's normally at. He's going to do it from the sideline and manage the game. Now his plate is heavy. Good thing, though, that he has experience in doing both. His first couple of years in Atlanta as head coach, he was also the defensive coordinator. So he has some experience doing that. But then, when you say, okay, well, who's taking care of the offensive line? Well, the tight ends coach is taking care of the offensive line. So not only he's taking care of the tight ends, he's got to take care of the offensive line, too. Lunda Wells has experience. For 5 years with the Giants, he was the assistant to the offensive line coach. So he's had experience doing that. So that certainly helps out. But still, you're starting to spread a lot of guys thin. So that's why I say, and you may remember this, back in the late 70s, early 80s with the Chicago White Sox, they came up with this slogan, winning ugly. And they did win ugly, but they got into the playoffs. That's what this game's going to be, I think, for the Cowboys. Just win it ugly somehow, some way.
All right, you're making me feel better about if they don't win in a blowout, that I should feel still pretty good about what's going on. And I look at this team, and, Jerry Jones said on the radio Tuesday that Zeke would have a heavy workload tonight. But watching Zeke the last couple of weeks, it's clear he's not 100%. And what Kellen Moore called 20 or 21 rush plays on Thanksgiving against the Raiders, if he's going to get a heavy workload, this team is better when they run the ball more, when they're more balanced. I saw a stat on ESPN where they averaged 150 rush yards through the first 7 games and about 85 over the last 4 games. How do we get back to being more balanced?
Well, it's not balance, it's effectiveness. They just haven't run the ball effectively. It's not a matter of the numbers, right? Think about it. In 2 of these, they scored 33 points in this last game, right? And get beat in overtime. They scored 40-something against Atlanta. So I'm not worried about the balance. What I'm worried about is the effectiveness. And one of the things that has gone downhill to me has been the play of the offensive line. And so when they put out those raw numbers on running, they don't factor in, well, how did the offensive line play? Because the offensive line play has not been up to their standards. And that's one of the reasons why they're not running the ball as well, because there's not holes, and everybody's like, well, Zeke's hurt. Well, okay, but you see him run the ball into the line, right, and smash in there. How hurt can you be to be doing that? But the problem is when he runs in there, there's nowhere to go. So the offensive line has to play better, and we'll see if La'el Collins at right tackle can get back to the La'el Collins of 2019 and be effective on the outside there with Terrence Steele now on reserve COVID.
How much of the offensive line play that hasn't been this isn't the 2014-2015 offensive line that was so dominant. I think we all know that. But how much of that also is impacting Dak? Because Dak looks like he's been in a bit of a slump, just off target on some of his passes.
Yeah, and I think you have to factor in the pressure that he's been under. And why is he under pressure? Well, it's because of the play of the offensive line. They have to play better. This last game, how many times did he get sacked? 5 times? 5. I think it's been like 10 sacks in 3 of the last 4 games. I don't think he got sacked against Atlanta. Oh, they didn't get sacked, right? But they put up 40 points. I don't think that's just a coincidence. So the offensive line play has affected the ability of this offense to function with the running. I don't care how many talented players you have. And remember, he's for 2 games without Amari Cooper, and at the same time, a game and a half without CeeDee Lamb. Now, both back, as I said earlier, I don't know how much Amari Cooper's going to play, but the guy that would step up, Cedric Wilson, he's out with a sprained ankle. And then they listed Malik Turner as questionable. He came down with a non-COVID illness on Wednesday, and so we'll see if he's able to help out. Otherwise, it's Noah Brown in there and as the third wide receiver. So you got to have your guys on the field, And one of the things, Jason, I know what we do during the week. We talk all about the injuries, right? And they get to the game and these guys don't play and they get beat, and everybody's like, "Well, what happened?" Well, you need your guys on the field, and they're getting closer to that. As you mentioned, Lawrence getting back, Randy Gregory probably for the Washington game, the next game. Neville Gallimore's close to getting back, and just they've played 1 game with their 3 top wide receivers. This is game 12, and it's still going to be 1 game because of the injuries that they've incurred. Now, again, 2.5 receivers, maybe. If Amari can play at least half the game, that's certainly a help out, and that's their top 3 guys with Michael Gallup. But having missed him since the opening game, and Cedric Wilson's done well, but now he's out. So they just can't seem to get the wide receiver position healthy and all guys on the field.
And while it's been a tough stretch for the Cowboys as we visit with Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com here on the Blitz, they still control their own destiny. It's not time to hit the panic button, but I've cleared areas, so I know where it is if I'm ready to push it. And I hope the offense can do what I expect it to do tonight. Defensively, how does Taysom Hill cause problems for this Cowboys defense? Is Micah Parsons going to be the spy on Hill?
I think he'll do a little bit of both. I think he'll play some defensive end. I think he'll play some linebacker. And to me, I understand the sacks, but his effectiveness to me is at linebacker, because in those games, if you look, he's got 9 tackles, 10 tackles. The sacks are great, but he doesn't get as many tackles playing defensive end. He can get taken out of the game at defensive end. At linebacker, you kind of control your own destiny out there. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle him. Okay, Demarcus Lawrence is back. They got Dorrance Armstrong now going on the other side. So I think they will spot him tonight. Some linebacker, some defensive end. And you're right about Taysom Hill. The deal with him is it's 2 dimensions. Only the best dimension is him running the ball, right?
Yeah.
He's only thrown, he completed 7 of 8 passes this year. So it's not like he's this big passing threat. But it's the idea when he gets a shotgun snap, is he going to pass, or is he taking it like a wildcat and going to run? So that's what becomes problematic, because he's rushed for 200 yards. But it wasn't at the quarterback position. It was lining up as a wide receiver or a running back.
Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com here on the Blitz. And, you look at Taysom there at quarterback, and that just is different for every defense. No Alvin Kamara tonight. As you've been there in New Orleans and you're talking to some of the media that covers the Saints in New Orleans, what are their impressions of this game?
Well, look, that's maybe the best thing that's happened to the Cowboys in this game, that Alvin Kamara is not going to play. I think he's one of the best running backs, if not the best, in the NFL. Just his versatility, handing him the ball, throwing him the ball, sending him end around and things like that. And so, without him out there, that certainly helps. And then they're going to be without their two starting tackles, Taron Armstead and Ramczyk are both out. So that certainly will elevate. It should elevate, right, the defensive end play for the Cowboys without their two starters. And those guys are pretty good. And then you remember Hill hasn't played in like 4 or 5 games. He's coming back from plantar fasciitis, and that's a tough thing to return from. They're a little hamstring too from an injury standpoint. So that kind of levels out. But what doesn't level out is missing your head coach and 2 offensive line coaches.
Very true. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com joining us here on the Blitz. Anthony Brown, how does he respond this week to the week that he had last week against the Raiders?
Well, first of all, he's going to have a different officiating crew. That'll help him out immensely, right? Because I can look at, he got 4 interference calls. One of them should have been a holding, and the other one shouldn't even been called. That officiating crew, you shouldn't have got me going on this one.
There we go.
But they're number 1 in the NFL in penalties called and penalty yards, right? Last year, they were number 3. So they're pretty particular on how they officiate a game. I mean, it was so bad. It was the most watched Thanksgiving game, right, since like 1993. And there was no flow to the game. Somebody cracked a joke that Hockley had more FaceTime on TV than Dak Prescott did. Think about it, 28 penalties and at least 3 that I counted were declined. So that's 31 flags in the game. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, going back to Anthony Brown, look, guys get beat in this league. Everybody's not perfect, but there was no way he should have got tagged with 4 interference calls in that game.
I don't know Anthony Brown. I don't know how much you've got to spend time with him. From a confidence level, I want him to play aggressive like he normally does. And after last week, I'm worried that he might be a little timid out there, and that probably doesn't make a good end result.
Yeah, no, and you're right. But as long as they preach to him about what they think he did wrong and what they think he didn't do wrong, he's strong enough mentally, I believe, to deal with that and not get tentative, to stay physical. I mean, Jason, what do you do when you're covering a guy and they underthrow the ball by 5 yards and the receiver jumps back over your back and tries to catch the ball? Somehow they've got to officiate that differently. You should not get credit for underthrowing passes in this league. And that's one of the things that I think that needs to be looked at. If I put my white hat on, by the way, that I have one, because when they have the officials meeting here every year in Dallas, they opened up a merch room, and I bought one of the head officials' white hats. So I should have wore it to the game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you would have got out of that building alive if you were wearing it then.
They might have thought I was the one. They thought I was the one throwing the flags, right?
Yeah, but Mickey, you bring up a good point. 2 actually good points. The NFL will sell anything. Clearly, if they're selling officials' hats, they will sell anything. But the NBA changed a rule that has completely changed James Harden's game on those threes where, he jumps in and get bailed out by the referees for a foul call. Will the NFL do that on pass interference? It has to be more than if I'm sitting in my living room or here at R&J Saloon and I see the defensive back not turn his head around. I know that the flag is coming and it's his way. It's got to be more than that, though, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. It absolutely does, because you're running with the guy, and it's not like you were the one that created the contact. The wide receiver made the contact with you. He didn't run into him. He didn't have his hands up and try to go into him. It was the other way around, but he gets the penalty, right? And you know what? And I swear they still don't know what a catch is and what a fumble is, or an incompletion, because that play should have never been reversed. He caught the ball and took 2 steps, right? And then it got knocked out. He didn't lose the grip of the ball. The ball got knocked out, and that was a fumble. So there's another big play in the game. So you get enough of those, and then you ended up losing in overtime by a field goal.
Man, I've got you riled up about 2 hours away from kickoff, Mickey. Who, should I ask, who's officiating tonight and what's his record?
Oh, you know what? I didn't look at the depth chart. Let me see if I'm close enough. I think I can find one.
It's funny. I say that, Mickey, a couple years ago, and I did this for the Spurs and I did this for Cowboy games. I would always look up who was officiating and then do a little research. And then I realized all that did was piss me off before the game, so I quit doing it. So I don't know who's.
Because you knew what to look for, right? Yeah.
I knew what to look for, and I was just never happy. I mean, I imagine the guy that's calling the game tonight has a history of calling a lot of penalties against the Cowboys.
I can tell you here in a second. It's Brad Rogers' crew. I don't know.
I don't know Brad Rogers, but that just sounds
I don't
bad.
either. Yeah. Well, you know,
just sounds bad.
And I think they still do this. So there's a way the teams can chart, or they get this information on the officiating crews, and particularly what they call. Like if they call a lot of holding, or if they call a lot of wind up in the neutral zone, or whatever. So they can tell the players before the game and brief them and say, okay, this is what they concentrate on. Be careful, right? And they know the tendencies of these different crews. So if you listen closely to Mike McCarthy's press conference after the game, he mentioned, like, we knew what we were in for. So they had done their research and knew that crew threw a lot of flags. And what they called and what they don't call. So I would have guessed they're being briefed on this crew, and where they rank in the penalty situation. And and this is a big home field advantage too, by the way, with the noise here. And they may be struggling, but you got to remember, these Saints fans are awfully loyal, right? They don't give up on their team, and they're just 5-6. So they're not far off. They win this game, they're a 500 team, and the rate you're going with 7 playoff teams in the NFC, that probably gives you maybe close to being the 7th seed.
It's possible, although certainly seemed like a lot of video last night coming off of Bourbon Street. A lot of Cowboy fans making a long weekend in New Orleans, taking in the game tonight. So hopefully that will balance.
You're exactly you're exactly right. I was surprised last night when I kind of did my perfunctory walk down Bourbon. But then today, walking around downtown on Canal and everywhere, there are a lot of, and I tweeted, and I didn't know I was going to start a Twitter storm, but it was like, man, how do these Cowboy fans get all these tickets? Well, everybody's got their opinion of how that happens, but there were a lot of them in town, believe me.
Good stuff. Hopefully they're loud tonight, and they've got a lot to cheer for. Mickey Spagnola from DallasCowboys.com. You get this Thursday out of the way, a little mini bye for the weekend, and then that big stretch December run through the NFC East. We'll visit next week, Mickey. Enjoy tonight.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Good to be with you.
Appreciate it. And make sure you follow Mickey on Twitter at Spags52. You can read him at DallasCowboys.com, watch him, listen to him on Cowboys radio and television. You want to come watch the game with us tonight out at R&J Saloon on South Flores. We're here till kickoff. Of course, you can listen to the game right here on San Antonio Sports Star, but you want to get down here to R&J Saloon because we got a ton of stuff to give away from Miller Lite. The Miller Lite Cowboys gear, from the OtterBox coolers to very cool jackets like the one I'm wearing now. If you're watching on the video feed, we've got hats that we're giving away, and then all the Christmas gear, the ugly sweaters. You can even have the one right off of Greg Shelton's back. That one is a collector's item, but we've got a ton of stuff to give away here. Come by. Everybody that comes by is going to win something, and $2 Miller Lites all night long, even during the game. So you can't beat that. And look, kickoff happens. It's not like I'm driving home, man. I'm going to hang out here and have some Miller Lights with you. So come see us here at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. Let me tell you about River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled, dental implants, you need to know about Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He offers direct patient care. What that means is it's cash business. You know what you're going to pay before you go in. You don't need a referral. You just make an appointment and go. All his prices are listed on the website, rivercityoms.com. And if you have dental insurance, chances are River City Oral Surgery is going to be less, and you can still file a claim with your insurance and maybe get some money back. All prices are all-inclusive, including your post-op care. And Dr. Havercorn is fantastic. He's a specialist, an oral surgeon, and a medical doctor. He treats people of all ages and from all over. People drive from all over the state to go see him just because free market medicine is the way to go. You know exactly what you're going to pay before you show up. It is that simple. And when I say it's a cash business, you don't have to go to the ATM and withdraw a bunch of cash. He'll take a credit card. He'll take a check. He'll take your cash. And they do have finance plans available for you. It's just such an easier way to get things done without all the red tape. You don't need a referral. You just call and make an appointment. 210-778-0002. 778-0002. Or go to the website, rivercityoms.com. They're a full scope oral surgery practice right over there at 1604 near I-10, basically across the highway from Topgolf. River City Oral Surgery, online at rivercityoms.com. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle will join us next right after Sports Center with James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. It is game night for the Dallas Cowboys as they're 7-4 and have lost 3 of their last 4, including 2 straight, as they look to get back on track tonight when they take on the Saints in New Orleans. Kickoff is set for 7:20, and it's a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are getting Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb back, as well as defensive end Demarcus Lawrence, who is expected to make his return after missing the last 10 with a broken foot. In other Cowboy news, rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was named the Defensive Rookie of the Month for the month of November after registering 25 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles in the month of November. Former Judson Rocket and Texas A&M defensive tackle DeMarvin Leal is declared for the NFL draft and will forego his senior season in Aggie land. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs look to stretch their win streak to 3 games as they get ready to open up a 3-game road trip in Portland tonight when they take on the Trailblazers. Portland will be without Damian Lillard, who's dealing with an abdominal tendinopathy, which will cost him the next 10 days. Tip-off for tonight's game is set for 9 o'clock, and Game Night San Antonio helps to get you ready for that game tonight on the Blitz at 6:30. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The marriage is over. You know it. Your friends know it. So why fight? Call DivorceDude.com at 210-201-0303 and ask for Mark, the Divorce Dude, with Polling Law PLLC. DivorceDude.com can help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the DivorceDude.com can fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. If the marriage is over, why fight? DivorceDude.com.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a beautiful piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop than Diamonds Direct. where making memorable moments is our specialty. This holiday season, we've put together our most impressive selection of can't-miss gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands for every taste and every price range. And to make it easier to splurge this season, we're offering 4 years, zero-interest financing on any holiday purchase. So that $5,000 Eternity Band is just over $100 a month. And that $10,000 designer diamond ring, just around $200 a month. With this special offer, everything's affordable. So come to Diamonds Direct. Let our experts help you choose that perfect headliner gift for this holiday season. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. We are live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores. Cowboys and Saints tonight. We're out here with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And, man, they have brought the prizes. We've got Cowboys Miller Lite gear to give away. We've got the Cowboys Miller Lite ugly sweaters to give away, and all kinds of them, different styles, different varieties. We got Cowboys jackets, Cowboys hats. We've got OtterBox coolers. We got a lot of stuff to give away, and $2 Miller Lights now through at the end of the game. So come hang out with us at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. The Houston Texans, they've got the Colts at home this week. Let's talk some Texans in NFL. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joins us now. John, I look at this Texans team with Tyrod Taylor and wonder, why don't they just stay with the kid Mills? I mean, he was doing just as bad as Taylor's doing.
Well, actually, they scored touchdowns with Taylor. They didn't score touchdowns with Davis. Davis had a great game against the Patriots, and then he went straight down the toilet. So did the offense. Now, the schedule was tougher, but Taylor ran for 2 touchdowns 2 games ago. He threw for 2 touchdowns passes, take them to a 14-3 lead, and then the offense just was pathetic after that, and they get beat by the lowly Jets.
That game last week, I don't even know. I don't even know what to ask you about that game, or really this team right now, because every week it's just a new level of patheticness that I see from them.
Well, if you don't want to ask me, you could always ask me about those fighting Baylor Bears playing for the Big 12 championship against the Cowboys.
Well, let's do that. That sounds like a better conversation. I mean, who would have thought at the beginning of the year that the Big 12 championship game would be your Baylor Bears and the Oklahoma State Cowboys?
I think it's really funny, Jason. Some of my friends from OU were complaining this week. They said it's just outrageous that Lincoln Riley and his agent would do all these clandestine negotiations, not tell anybody, not give Oklahoma the respect of letting them know what they're doing. I said, oh, you mean kind of like OU and Texas did the Big 12? And they're like, yeah. And so it's so strange. Baylor was picked 8. Baylor was 2-7 in Dave Aranda's first season, and he's getting a nice contract extension for a lot of more $1 million, a lot more zeros. And, Mike Gundy's done a terrific job. They lost that first game at Iowa State, and they struggled early, and now they've lost one game. And I think Oklahoma State will win. They beat Baylor by 10 in Stillwater. I think it'll be a fun game. And as a Baylor alum, I'm very proud that the Bears are in the championship game for the second time in 3 years. And down here, the University of Houston playing at Cincinnati is a big game. And I tweeted Saturday, let the Longhorns and Sooners go into the SEC, start getting beaten up over there, and bring those conference title contenders from whatever conference they're in down back to Big 12 sooner rather than later.
Well, and again, I mean, I look at college football, and this weekend I'm rooting for chaos. Although I think Houston could give Cincinnati a game, and I look at this. Follow me, John. If Oklahoma State beats Baylor and they get that top 10 win, since they're both in the top 10, Oklahoma State's going to leapfrog Cincinnati unless they beat Houston by, I don't know, 30, 40, whatever. It needs to be pretty enough. I think because Cincinnati's not really invited to the party. Part of me, I want to root for Baylor to win this game, but I also want the chaos that comes with the playoff. So I don't know if I want Oklahoma State to beat Baylor, because if they beat Baylor, they will leapfrog Cincinnati.
Well, if Baylor is going to lose, I'm glad it's to Oklahoma State, not Oklahoma or Texas. Of course, Texas not even a possibility. But I think University of Houston has won 11 in a row. It's taken Dana Holgorsen 3 years to get that program where they thought he would when they gave him millions of dollars to leave West Virginia. And I think it wouldn't surprise me of an upset, but Cincinnati's good. And I wondered if Luke Fickell, who could have his pick of jobs if he wanted them, they would talk about him going to Notre Dame. And I would hate to see him losing, but if he's ever going to leave there, this would be the time to do it. And because he may never be in this situation again. I think the Bearcats will beat the Cougars, and I think the Cowboys will beat the Bears, and both of them will be fun, close games, unless one of them commits a lot of turnovers.
John, you've covered sports for a long, long time as a visit with John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. When you look at this college football playoff committee that has met, they announced in June that they were going to expand to 12 teams. And now they can't figure out the details. And they've had, 4 or 5 meetings since then. They met yesterday in Dallas, and they still don't have a decision. And apparently the hang-up is on automatic qualifiers. Part of me feels like if you're a conference champion, you should probably automatically be in the top 12. You don't need to have an automatic qualifier, a guaranteed seat at the table. But then part of me says, if you're a Power 5 conference, your champion should be in regardless. You still have 6 at-larges. I'm stunned that all these guys can't get in a room, 4 or 5 meetings, and however many emails and phone calls that go with it, and they still can't come to a conclusion on what's best for college football.
Jason, I'm with you 100%. So often when I'm thinking about those meetings going on behind the scenes, I'm thinking of Mo, Larry, and Curly. And I'm wondering which one of them's poking the other one in the eyes and which one of them's hitting the other one in the chin, because they just don't come across as a group of being real bright or fair. I'll put it like that. But it's inevitable that's the way we're going, and I think that'll make it even more interesting.
Well, and I thought the other part was funny. I saw Heather Dinich on ESPN yesterday say the meetings had to break early so those guys could catch their flights. And my first thought was, a meeting this important, you could get a flight the next day, but aren't they all flying private jets anyway?
I certainly would think they would be, because the schools have jets, the rich alumni have jets. This is important. Lock them in a room. Don't let them come out until they get this worked out in a manner there's always going to be people who disagree, but they've got a chance to take college football to the next level.
They do. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joining us here on the Blitz, as he does every Thursday, to not talk Houston Texans, but to talk sports in general. Antonio Brown and 2 other Bucks suspended 3 games for misrepresenting vaccination status. I find it very interesting how the NFL is handling this situation. Are you at all surprised that it's 3 games?
I thought that he should be suspended for the rest of the season because he's a multiple offender. And Aaron Rodgers just got a little baby tap on the wrist. The last thing the NFL wants to find out, Jason, at this time of year, is that there is a widespread problem across the league with players having fake vaccination cards. And then if it got out, they would have to take action. And we're talking about the most important time of regular season, crunch time here in December, when you separate the contenders from the pretenders. So they don't want teams to have to be in a position to suspend them. So I think they'll say, okay, this is all we'll find. We'll look at it into the off season. Teams have had enough of a problem with nincompoops like Amari Cooper, who wouldn't get vaccinated, missed 2 games, and he might have cost his team a loss in an overtime game. Maybe he could have scored or put him in a position for a tying field goal. But I thought the sign of the times of the life we're living right now at the time is Jerry Jones being proud that they all have had COVID-19 or they've been vaccinated. So we're good to go.
It's insane, isn't it, when you think about it that way? And then you look at the game tonight, no head coach, both your offensive line coaches are out. You do get Cooper back, but we've kind of seen that the guys with their first game back, they're not overly effective in those games, although I think his presence will help the Cowboys offense. But what are your thoughts on tonight's Cowboys-Saints game?
I think Cowboys are going to win this game handily. The Saints don't have their offensive tackles. They don't have Kamara. They don't have a running game. Mark Ingram, the second, is not a good running back. And now I am eager to see Taysom Hill. I want to know, what is the big deal? Why does Sean Payton think this guy's worth all the money he's paying him? Other than being a Cowboy fan, why else did you watch this game? And I want to see what they do against him. And I think the Cowboys will win it decisively. I think they will run away with the division, which I've been saying all season. Almost every team's hitting some speed bumps. The key is, are they healthy and are they ready to go for, say, the last 4 games? That's the most important.
I agree. And again, with the Cowboys, after tonight, they only play NFC East teams except 1 game with the Arizona Cardinals. So a big stretch coming up for the Cowboys. John, I would say enjoy Sunday's game, Texans-Colts, but just do what you can to get through it, man.
Thank goodness I got TVs around me where I can watch real games.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL. John, appreciate it as always.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate it. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. He's the best. He really is the best. Everything he's done, and God, he's been doing this way too long. He's too old to sit through a crap Texan season like he's been doing. It's crazy. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. We're down at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street. We got What's on Tap coming up. We'll talk some college football at 6 o'clock with Taylor McHargue. And I see Rob Thompson has walked into the building. If there's an ugly sweater to be had, Rob is going to show up and get it. Haven't seen Rudy J yet, but Rob Thompson has actually showed up. We'll talk to him as well. What's on Tap coming up next? If you've got an event this weekend, you want us to promote it, you've got a concert, a gig, let us know about it. Tweet at James Pledger at I Am Pledger. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. Let me tell you about Barbecue Outfitters. They are having their giant holiday sale. It's going on now. Your holiday gift-giving headquarters. You love being outdoors, chilling outside, cooking outside. You need to get into the Barbecue Outfitters there at 1604 at Chavano Park. They've got all the big-name brands, Traeger, Big Green Egg, the amazing Kamado Joe, Weber Grills. They got all of that. Offset smokers, wood-burning fire pits that are made right here in Texas. fireplace gas logs, and dozens of other grills and smokers, and everything is on sale. And they got all the fun stuff as well, like your barbecue tools, your rubs, your baskets, your gadgets. They got the funny aprons, cookbooks, and more. And right now, for their giant holiday sale, they've got a special $50 delivery that is going on that includes a big red bow, and more importantly, free assembly. So you know what you want for the holidays. You know, and maybe you just go buy your own Christmas present, or you tell her what you want. You just take advantage of the giant holiday sale going on at Barbecue Outfitters, 1604 at Chavano Park next to the Ridge Shopping Center, or check out their website, bbqoutfitters.com.
Saturday afternoons mean one thing: college football. Oh my God! Hear games from all Power 5 conferences all season long, every Saturday from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate, with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Staying healthy isn't easy, especially during the holidays. Watching your diet, staying active, managing stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and effortlessly adjusts to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Bring proven quality sleep home for the holidays. It's time for our Cyber Week special. Save up to $1,000 on select Sleep Number 360 smart beds and adjustable bases. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
This is the place where time stands still. With each down, there's a battle of inches.
How about 83 yards from Prescott to Elliott?
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Set your alarm to wake up with us. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Chase Minix. We're live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, because the Cowboys are taking on the New Orleans Saints tonight. Miller Lite bought a bunch of prizes. including their ugly sweaters, because there's an ugly sweater to be had. Rob Thompson has showed up from R&R in the morning. We will talk to him coming up in a bit. He'll just have to get a couple of those $2 long necks in him before he comes on the air this late in the evening. He's out of practice talking in the afternoon. But come by and see us. We've got a ton of prizes to give away, and everybody that walks in is going to get something. Everybody. I mean, but from the Cowboy Miller Lite stuff, and I'll show you on the video here in the 6 o'clock hour some of the stuff we have to give away, because it's incredible. So come by and see us here. But it is Thursday. It is time for What's on Tap.
The Blitz wants you to know what's on tap. Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint.
It is time for What's on Tap, brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint, online at samsburgerjoint.com if you need to see their full schedule for upcoming shows as well as their full menu. And Sam's Burger Joint, man, they've been cranking out the shows. They got Small Town Habit out there tonight. On Friday night, Nitzer Ebb is going to be playing out there. The Chris Cueva Project on Saturday. Next Wednesday, make plans now, Los Numbers 3 Dinners. One of the best local bands, longest running bands in San Antonio. It's been a while since I've seen them, but they're out at Sam's Burger Joint next Wednesday night. Again, samsburgerjoint.com is the website. Tonight out at Green Hall, Winona Judd is playing. Winona's out there tonight at Green Hall and tomorrow night. So Thursday and Friday. On my page here, Pledge, it says the Friday night show is sold out, but there's still tickets to see Winona tonight.
That is correct.
Do you think Ashley's with her?
God, I hope so.
Well, that would be worth going. I hadn't thought about Winona Judd in 30 years. I didn't know she was still rolling, although Greg Shelton's very excited.
Guess he's going out to Green Hall tonight.
No, he's going over to Pigs because it's live band karaoke night. And Greg Shelton's got his ugly sweater on, and he is ready to roll. The Tobin Center has Greater Tunas, Justin Williams, and Blood and Holly. I have no idea what any of that means. Steve Trevino is at the LOL Comedy Club. The Justin Williams, Blood and Holly thingamajigger is going at the Tobin as well on Friday night. Are they Friday and Saturday as well? Is that every day this week? Yeah. So if you want to go see Greater Tunas, Justin Williams, and Blood and Holly, it's available all weekend there at the Tobin Center. The Nutcracker is in the HEB Performance Hall at the Tobin. Colby Cooper is out at Floors Country Store on Friday night. John Wolf is out at Cowboys Dance Hall. LOL Comedy Club has Steve Trevino on Friday. Winona is out at Green. Pix Bar has 80s Night featuring 80s Obsession. Sounds awful. AT&T Center has the WWE SmackDown on Friday night. The Majestic has George Lopez. But, you know, we're all going to be in the Alamo Dome for the Conference USA Championship game at UTSA against Western Kentucky. Saturday night, you know, we do this on Thursday, and it all started when there was a show that I wanted to go to and Rob wanted to go to, and we didn't know about it ahead of time. See, earlier in the week, Pledge, you told me that Sammy Hagar was playing out at Saturday night at the Aztec.
I did.
So I got tickets to go to see Sammy Hagar at the Aztec. You didn't tell me that Bruce Robinson and Kelly Willis are doing their holiday shindig at Green Hall on Saturday night. Because I'd have gone to that. Because that's incredible. It's always awesome when Bruce and Kelly, and it used to be with Charlie, but, you know, he's had voice issues, but Kelly Willis and Bruce Robinson on stage together is always fun stuff. Saturday night out at Green Hall. George Lopez is at the Majestic on Saturday night as well. Steve Trevino still at LOL. Pix Bar has something called Sunset Strip. I don't know what that is. I'm kind of hoping that's hair metal bands that you would see on the Sunset Strip in LA. I hope that's what that really is. I hope. I don't know. I'm going to be at Sammy Hagar, who's probably played at Sunset Strip a time or two. At Whiskey A Go-Go. Sammy Hagar at the Aztec Theater. If you're down there, say hi. I'll take a Yingling. Krause's Beer Garden has Shane Kelly. What is Krause's Beer Garden? Is that a new venue?
Apparently.
Is it in New Braunfels? Or you just think it is because it's called Krause? Is that Krause's? All right, Greg Shelton's been there. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. The Garden is playing out at Paper Tiger. On Sunday, out at Floors, Dine and Dance with the Rick Rice Band. How many shows is Steve Trevino playing out there? He must have to buy a whole lot of Christmas presents. He's out there Thursday through Sunday. He must have to buy Christmas for a whole lot of people. That man's working a lot this weekend. Let's see, jumping ahead next Tuesday. Spurs and Knicks out at the AT&T Center. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory starts a run at the Majestic Theater. On Wednesday, Green Hall has the Georges. And there's something at the Aztec Theater. Mm-hmm. What is that?
Ginger with special guests, Suicide Silence, and All Hail the Yeti.
And what does that mean in English? All right.
It was at the Aztec on Wednesday, and it made me giggle when I read it. So
that's why I had to read it again. Just read it on air. I mean, honestly, the All Hail the Yeti, it sounds like, it could be either something that you and Jeff Garcia would debate in your Geek Fest or tribute to Coolers. And I don't know if you spelled ginger right. I wasn't sure what was on any of that.
Yeah, everything's spelled right, surprisingly.
Yeah, all right. It's just got red lines under it. You know, felt like Janice Stalder, my English teacher from high school, had got a hold of your paper with all those red marks. That's what's on tap. Brought to you by Sam's Burger Joint at samsburgerjoint.com. We're a little early for Grilling with the Blitz, but we got Taylor McHargue coming up at 6 o'clock. We'll talk a lot of college football with the ESPN college football analyst. So let's go ahead and do Grilling with the Blitz.
Grilling with the Blitz is brought to you by Tri-County Meat Market.
And I look at the entries this week, and there's one that I have not seen before, so that makes it an easy win. Lamb steaks. I have never done lamb steaks, but John submitted at sasportstar.com the best cast iron lamb steaks compliments of Tri-County Meat Market. So clearly he bought them at Tri-County Meat Market, and I say clearly, I would assume that he did, but I have no idea how he cooked them other than the cast iron, the seasonings. I've never cooked a lamb steak. I don't even know if I've eaten a lamb steak. Greg Shelton is saying, yeah, you have. Have I? I don't. Have you? It looks good. I'm going to get one now. Apparently they have that at Tri-County Meat Market. Congratulations, John. You win yourself a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. If you're going to do any grilling this weekend, make sure you upload those photos at sasportstar.com. Every Thursday we give away that $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. The Huebner Road location. I know I'll be in there this weekend as I try to figure out what's going on the grill. I didn't do any grilling last weekend, and next weekend I'll be in New York, so I got to do something this weekend. My Traeger starts, the app will send me messages making sure I'm okay. Dude, haven't seen you in a while. Come fire it up. Let's do that. Cowboys, Saints tonight. Come watch it with us at R&J Saloon here on South Flores Street. We're with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Come see us here. We're here till kickoff. And then, of course, we'll roll right into the game on the radio. Cowboys football always brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. But there's $2 Miller Lite long necks all game long. So we ain't going anywhere when we go off the air. We're going to hang out with you guys wearing our ugly Miller Lite sweaters and drinking some beer and watching some good Cowboys football. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, if you get arrested and you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Rapping with Jack, benefiting Family Service Association, is happening now through December 4th, benefiting the most needy families this holiday season. There are 3 ways to help. Give cash now, shop the Amazon wish list, or drop off donations at our designated locations. Complete details now at sasportstar.com. Presented by Quarter Moon, Plumbing, Heat, and AC, and in part by River City Oral Surgery, Institute for Functional Health, and Copenhagen Contemporary Furniture.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, let sleigh bells ring. It's Ewald Kubota's first annual Trade Orange for Green holiday cash offer. We know the idea of trading your trusted Kubota equipment for cash might be tough, but having some cash on hand right before the holidays just might be the cure. Or trade in for a new Kubota Sidekick, Kubota zero-turn mower, or a brand new Kubota SBL or compact tractor. It's your choice during Ewald Kubota's Trade Orange for Green holiday cash offer going on now.
Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, you know the place to be tonight is at R&J Saloon down on South Flores Street. Jason Minix here. We are live right now at R&J Saloon with the Blitz and our friends at Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, because we're having a huge watch party for tonight's Cowboys-Saints game. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite long necks during the game. You can also register to win some great Miller Lite Dallas Cowboy gear and other great holiday stuff. So get down here to R&J Saloon right now on South Flores Street.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of diamonds. A diamond pendant, a diamond anniversary band, a pair of diamond earrings. And around here, the diamond destination is Diamonds Direct. With our decades of experience, our worldwide connections, our legendary value, Diamonds Direct is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Can't miss gifts with lasting value and beauty. And now, through the end of December, you can get 4 years, 0 interest financing on any holiday purchase. If you're planning an engagement this holiday season, this special finance offer includes all of our designer engagement rings and all certified diamonds. Buy now, spread your payments over 4 years with 0 interest. Say I love you louder than ever this holiday with the gift of diamonds from Diamonds Direct. Get holiday store hours, directions, finance details, and see our online gift guide at diamondsdirect.com. Unapproved credit. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. Slackers is your home to 7 days a week happy hour, and they now start at noon every day. And by popular request, Slackers brings back their signature frozen drinks. Visit slackersbarsa.com for more info.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Jason Minix, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. Cowboys Saints tonight. We're live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street with Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And we're taking it right up to kickoff. But come watch the game with us here at R&J Saloon. And Miller Lite, they have unloaded the prize closet. If you're watching on video, the jacket that I'm wearing right now, we got a bunch of these that we're giving away. You come by here, you are going to win. We've got these old school looking Dallas Cowboys jackets that we are giving away. If you want to win one of these, we've got hats. We've got the Cowboys Miller Lite OtterBox coolers to give away. And of course, we've got the Miller Lite ugly sweaters to give away as well for the holidays. Although these aren't so ugly. I mean, you look at these. I know James Pledger, a great producer, he wanted me to snag him this one, if I can find it and show it on the video, because he's going to a party on Saturday night, an ugly sweater Christmas party. So this is James Pledger's right here, because the only man I know that can wear a small. They got socks, they got dog sweaters, all kinds of stuff. Everybody that shows up will win something. We have that many prizes that we are giving away as we lead up to Cowboys Saints tonight. Well, let's talk some college football. This is the weekend in college football that we have been waiting for a long, long time. Championship weekend. Let's talk about it. Taylor McHargue, ESPN college football analyst, former quarterback for the Rice Owls, joining us now here on the Blitz. Taylor, you think about this game, and let's go this weekend. Let's go in order. Let's start with the game tomorrow night here in the Alamo Dome. I kind of think we might hit 55,000, 60,000 for this one, the Conference USA Championship game between Western Kentucky and the UTSA Roadrunners.
I'm right there with you, and wish I could be there. I love what, the support that you've seen rally around UTSA. I know there's one of the more prominent alumni, I think, that's been raising money, for student tickets, and Jeff Traylor and his staff have been all over, really everybody in San Antonio to try and come out, support this team. And hopefully, the loss last week, I think it did take some of the wind out of the sails. But, man, 11-1 regular season and Western Kentucky playing their best football of the season in these past few weeks. It should be a good matchup. I think it's interesting that Western Kentucky's favored in this. I think a big part of that is UTSA's, their letdown last week against North Texas in a game that they really just got pushed around in, where otherwise this season they've been – aside from that one, they were almost perfect. So it should be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Absolutely. And you think about that support. It started with the tweet from April Lancira committing $5,000 to try to get students in the building. And they have now raised over $100,000. So for this game and the bowl game. But Dr. Campos, Lisa Campos, the UTSA athletic director, told me yesterday on the Blitz, Taylor, that they sold 30,000 to the general public. Now that 30,000 doesn't include the ticket allotment for the students or the allotment that goes to Western Kentucky. So I really do think 55, 60 are going to be in the Dome on Friday night.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. And if you saw anybody that watched the game against UAB a couple of weeks ago, that wasn't, Jason, I think you may know better than I would, but that wasn't anywhere near 55 or 60, and it was
35.
Still rocking in there. And that crowd at 35,000, how loud it was in there. If you get that thing packed out at 55, 60,000, anybody that's been to the Alamo Bowl when Texas has played there, you know how loud it can get in there. I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. It's so good for the city of San Antonio and for UTSA, the momentum that Jeff Traylor and this team has built. And again, just as a fan of the game and a fan of college football, I'm excited to watch this because you just don't get atmospheres like this that often at the Conference USA level.
You don't. Taylor McHargue joining us here on the Blitz. Now, how does UTSA win this game? I mean, they are coming off of that loss last week, and they looked awful in doing it. And part of me thinks that was good for them because, they were pissed off all week in practice. And, they got knocked down a peg. Hopefully that motivates them against a Western Kentucky team that seems to score at will.
Yeah, it will sound more simple than it is to actually achieve this, but it's two things. For UTSA on offense, when they get their opportunities in the red zone, no field goals. You've got to capitalize with touchdowns. And on the other side of the ball, you've got to get after Bailey Zappi, and you've got to do it without having to bring a lot of pressure. You can get after him with just rushing four, and sometimes that fifth defender disguise it well. That's a key to success against this offense because if he's got time, it's just by nature of the weapons he has around him and how accurate he is, he's going to burn you. And UTSA is going to have to figure out some creative ways to get after the quarterback, get them off the field, and try to, as best you can, to not let this turn into a shootout because as good as UTSA is on offense, Western Kentucky is a better offensive unit, and you do not want this to turn into a track meet.
How hard is it to beat a team 2 times in 1 year?
It's really difficult because especially if you are on the winning side, you've put forth your best effort. You've got everything that worked in the first iteration of that game. Now that's what Western Kentucky is scheming for, right? They've got 12 games of film that they get to go off of, and the things that worked the first time, they're going to have an answer for. And on the flip side, if you're the team that lost originally, you're going to try and come up with something especially creative. What are the new wrinkles, both on offense and defense, that you're going to try and bring out that you didn't show in that first week that you say, hey, if we had done this and this, we probably would have won that game. And think about also that the regular season matchup when Western Kentucky lost, they were driving late and Bailey Zappi threw that interception and UTSA clinched. So it wasn't like it was lopsided by any means. It was a one-score game. And I would say in the past 2 or 3 weeks of the season, going in different directions a little bit. Western Kentucky scored 47 points in the second half against Marshall, who's a pretty good defensive team. So it's definitely a tall task for UTSA, but I think that atmosphere is going to really pay dividends if UTSA can pack the house like we're talking about. We think they can.
Taylor McHargue joining us here on the Blitz, ESPN college football analyst, former quarterback at Rice. The other game on Friday night, a game that you can listen to right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Oregon against Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. The winner will go to the Rose Bowl. The loser likely ends up in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Who do you like in this one?
You know, I still think Utah wins, even we talked about how difficult it is to beat a team twice. I think they're the better team up front. I think you saw that especially in the first matchup. But I would caution people against thinking that just because Utah won 38-7 in that first matchup, I would not expect this to be anywhere near that lopsided. I've got this closer to a one-score game. I think the last time I saw the line, it was around a field goal or so. And to me, the neutral site helps Oregon tremendously. And I also think they'll be playing with an attitude in this game. They're going to, again, try and force Oregon to beat you through the air. If Utah can slow down Oregon's ability to run the football like they did a few weeks ago, Utah will win this, but I would not expect this to be a blowout like it was a couple weeks ago when they matched up.
You know, I know I sound kind of silly as I say this. I'm rooting for Utah because, you know, Oklahoma is going to be here representing the Big 12. That'd be too much red in the dome if it was Utah against OU.
Yeah, that's a good point you make with uniforms. And I think that's also some people were happy with how the playoffs look like they're going to shake out, because there was a stretch where it looked like we were going to get some version of a red and white uniform combo. It was not going to be a very appealing uniform Final Four, but I'm with you. If you got an Oregon and OU matchup, I think that would be great for the Alamo Bowl. I also think Oregon and Utah would be intriguing. Either one of those in the Alamo Bowl, I think, would be a good matchup.
Although it would cost me a lot of money because my niece's fiance is such an Oregon fan. I've called him Duck Boy since he was in high school, and they would all end up at the house, and it would end up costing me a fortune. So maybe I should actually root for Utah.
That's probably in your best interest.
Yeah, very good. Taylor McHargue joining us here on the Blitz Big 12 championship game. I'm rooting for chaos here. I believe if Oklahoma State beats Baylor, they will leapfrog Cincinnati into that fourth spot in the playoff.
Well, I think if this goes chalk in these championship games, I think Cincinnati and Oklahoma State get in. The way that I think Cincinnati gets left out is if Alabama were to upset Georgia. Really, if there's any upsets ahead of them, that's the path for Cincinnati to be left out. But if Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Oklahoma State and Cincinnati all win, I think that's your Final Four right there. There's just not enough behind them. They're not going to have Notre Dame vault any of those teams if they do win their conference championship. I don't think Ohio State makes a move at this point. And even if Alabama loses close, I don't think with the performances against Arkansas and Auburn, I don't think you're going to get Alabama vaulting Cincinnati at this point in the season. What they've put on tape the back half of the season really doesn't warrant a playoff spot if they do lose to Georgia, even if it's close.
Would you say that? Does Cincinnati have to just destroy Houston in order to ensure they make the playoff?
I really don't think so. If you had a couple weeks ago, I would have said yes, but there were so many losses ahead of them, Oklahoma losing and Ohio State losing. I really think you're in a spot now where there is a gap from 1 through 5 and then everybody else. And again, the only way that I see Cincinnati getting bounced at this point is either A, they lose. If they lose to Houston, they're obviously out. But the second piece would be if Alabama were to beat Georgia, they're both in. Michigan almost surely will beat Iowa. I don't think Iowa crosses the 50-yard line in the Big Ten championship game. There's your 3 spots. And then if Oklahoma State were to win, I think Oklahoma State, I agree with you, they would vault Cincinnati for the 4th spot. But again, if Alabama loses that second game, I think your Final Four is Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma State, and Cincinnati.
Taylor McHargue joining us here on the Blitz, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Let's talk about Georgia and Alabama. Part of me just thinks it's Georgia. They've been the most dominant team all year. Their defense is just incredible. And don't you feel like they'd love nothing more than to run Alabama out of the building, win this thing by double digits? But then I think it's Alabama. That doesn't happen to Alabama. What do you expect to see Saturday at 3 o'clock?
Part of me thinks that there's a real chance that we see something shocking in this game and that Alabama's kind of playing with house money. They really should have lost last week. It's not a playoff team. I think this is they're trying to reload, and this is one of the – it sounds silly saying one of the worst Alabama teams we've seen in recent memory, but this is not a national championship caliber Alabama team compared to what we've seen in the past, certainly compared to even last season. But the piece for Alabama that's concerning is how bad that offensive line is. They're going to have weapons that Georgia hasn't seen before, but the problem is you've got to get it to those guys. And the offensive line has been so poor. They got really pushed around by Auburn for, almost 4 quarters until the very end of the game. And I think Georgia is going to maul them up front. That's the piece that I worry about for Alabama is, can you protect long enough to get it downfield?
Taylor, in the Big Ten game, what happens if Michigan blows it?
I think it goes back to the only scenario where Notre Dame gets in is if Alabama loses convincingly against Georgia. They get blown out. Michigan somehow loses. I think that's the only way Notre Dame sneaks in, and it'd be Georgia, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati, and Notre Dame with Michigan and Ohio State on the outside looking in. I don't see that happening. Out of all of them, Power 5, Group of 5, all of the championship games, this is the one I feel most confident in. That Iowa is so inept on offense, and Michigan is so physical up front. I would be surprised if Iowa gets over 10 points in this game. I would be surprised.
He is Taylor McHargue, college football analyst, former quarterback at Rice. You've seen him do a lot of games this year. For UIW games, you've seen him on some Rice calls. I know you've had some UTSA games as well, some Sam Houston State games, second round of the FCS playoffs. And you were on the call last week as UIW upset. Was it upset? They were the home team, but they beat Stephen F. Austin in overtime in the first round. Incredible game, great atmosphere there at Benson Stadium. And their reward for winning a playoff game is to face the defending national champion Bearcats in the second round. What do you expect to see at Bauer Stadium Saturday between Sam Houston and UIW?
Yeah, UIW, first off, for everybody in San Antonio, if you get a chance next season, go see Cameron Ward and what that offense is doing. He is one of the better quarterbacks in all of college football, not just at the FCS level. He's a phenomenal player. For this game against Sam Houston, they've got to capitalize basically every time they get a chance at points because Sam Houston they're going to score. This will be the best offense, except for maybe Southeast Louisiana, that UIW has faced all year. And if Eric Schmid, quarterback for Sam Houston, is healthy and on his game, one of the tougher offenses in all the FCS to slow down. I think Sam Houston's it looks like a 13.5 point favorite the last time I looked. I think that's probably a little too high. But I do think UIW's got to play about a perfect game and force some turnovers in order for them to win this game.
It should be a lot of fun. And again, I mean, what UIW has done this year, I don't like the way the FCS did their regional brackets. I mean, this is the time of year they should, play somebody from the Dakotas or play somebody from Montana, not somebody down the street.
Yeah, they don't acknowledge it, but I do think it's a cost-saving measure. I think for a lot of these teams, it's try and make it more regional. And then after about the second round, it kind of goes to it's opened up a little bit. But it would be nice to see, UIW's first draw is somebody from the Northeast. They get a Holy Cross or somebody like that. But that's not how it played out. And the atmosphere in Huntsville this weekend should be a good one for Sam Houston and UIW.
Yeah, it certainly should be. Certainly appreciate it. And Taylor, before we let you go, who's going to win the Heisman?
Man, I don't know. They should give it to Aiden Hutchinson or this linebacker from Alabama because this is the first year in memory I can think of where it's truly feels pretty wide open going into the last game of the season. I think Stroud losing to Michigan probably took him out. Maybe it's Bryce Young if they were to upset Georgia. really don't have a great feel for it this year. Nobody's really taken the award. And at this point, it's like, well, let's just use this year to give it to a defensive guy.
Absolutely. Taylor McHargue, college football analyst, former quarterback at Rice. Appreciate all the conversations all year. Next week at this time, I'm going to be in New York doing the show as we get ready for the Army-Navy game. So we'll see about next week, but then certainly the following week as we get ready for all the different bowl matchups. But always appreciate your insight this year, my friend.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me, and enjoy the game tomorrow night. It should be a good one.
Yeah, UTSA and Western Kentucky. And I see J.J. Perez has shown some photos. I guess he's in the dome now. Yeah, obviously UTSA insider, and Pledge just sent me this tweet. They've got a new triangle of toughness. Apparently one of the boosters, a guy named Frank Valdez, put this thing together. It's like a Thor-like hammer that they're going to beat. I still think they need to figure out how to put a microphone on this, on the triangle. So when those guys start doing what do you do to a triangle? But when they start beating on it, I want that sound echoing throughout the Alamo Dome. Of course, this weekend, you're not going to have that because it's a neutral site game for Conference USA.
I was told that the triangle of toughness travels.
Well, this one's on wheels, so it definitely does.
So I say there's no reason to not bang the triangle.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying.
When you said no home field advantage, I mean the triangle even travels on road games.
Well, it does, but again, though, when I say it is a home field, they're playing at home. I'm hoping for 60,000 in the dome on Friday. But because it's a Conference USA game, the PA announcer has to be very neutral. It will be very much like your starting quarterback, Frank Harris, at running back, Sincere McCormick, first down, UTSA. It's not going to be the normal get loud, get crazy for your guys. It's going to be very normal on the PA. They're not going to be able to have things on the video wall that are encouraging cheering and that sort of stuff. It will have a very, well, to a degree, a very neutral type feel to it. And that's what the NCAA wants on that, which I think is stupid. I think if you work your butt off to get home field advantage, you should be able to have home field advantage, and that includes your PA guy and your on-field stuff that you would normally do during a home game.
Do you think with a good showing at this conference championship game that they consider making the Alamo Dome the home for the Conference USA championship from here on out?
No. I mean, they go home site, and the team with the best record gets to host it, just from an expense standpoint. You know, otherwise you got two teams traveling in, and the conference doesn't want to pay for all that. So I don't think that they would go with a neutral site game. And if they did, and I might be out of turn on this, I'm just spitballing with this, but if they did, they would probably go to NRG or go to Jerry World or someplace like that, not in San Antonio where you have a team that could actually host it. I mean, think about the footprint of Conference USA, and not that it matters because we're leaving their conference anyway. Screw those guys. We're going to the American.
Exactly.
But I don't think that they would do it. Well, maybe if UTSA is out of it, maybe. But I just think from a cost standpoint, you win and you get to host. You just don't get to, it's like you're having a party at your house. And in fact, like when my niece graduated, the party was at my house, but her mother took over. Yeah, I was kind of hosting, but not really. And that's kind of what's happening here for UTSA hosting this game. And like I said, I just hope a gazillion people show up, take off of work. If you've seen the uniforms that UTSA is going to wear, the UTSA equipment guys, man, they are incredible. They're going with an all blue look. That's a clean look for UTSA, and being on national national television for this one. It's going to be on TV, real TV, CBS Sports Network, not a streaming service. Another advantage that UTSA will have when they leave Conference USA. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come see us here at R&J Saloon. We are here until kickoff with Miller Lite. Ton of prizes to give away. You come by here, you are going to win something. I promise you that. Speaking of winning, Pledge, we've got Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets that we have to give away.
What?
A pair of tickets for next Friday at the AT&T Center. If you want them, be caller number 9 right now, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller number 9, you're going to win a pair of tickets to go to Trans-Siberian Orchestra next Friday down at the AT&T Center. And I've been telling you, if you're going to the game tomorrow, you're tailgating, go into Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25. Make sure you're going to have a whole bunch of people eating off your grill. You want good quality meat, you get into Tri-County Meat Market because they're the best. Locally owned and full service. They have carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. Beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. They even have their own homegrown Wagyu. And again, the Pick 5 for $25 is always incredible. Whether you're tailgating tomorrow at UTSA or you're firing up the grill this weekend, because it's going to be a nice weekend and you're going to be at home watching championship games all day on Saturday. And Tri-County Meat Market always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. They have 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, or check their website, tricountymeat.com. Let's get a Sports Center update. I almost forgot you, Pledge. From James Pledger.
It's all good. It's a game night for the Dallas Cowboys. I know you're getting prepped for it down there at R&J Saloon on South Flores. Tons of prizes, tons of Cowboys swag to give away. Well, the Cowboys, they're trying to snap a 2-game losing streak as they get set to take on those Saints in New Orleans. Kickoff set for 7:20, and of course you can catch it right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys, San Antonio Sports Star. It all starts right after the Blitz. Dallas will be without head coach Mike McCarthy and wide receiver Cedric Wilson, but they will be getting back wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and defensive end Demarcus Lawrence, who is making his first appearance since week 1 of the season. In other news, rookie linebacker Micah Parsons was named the defensive player of the month for the month of November. In college football, former Judson Rocket and now Texas A&M defensive tackle DeMarvin Leal has declared for the NFL draft and will forego his senior season in Aggieland. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs look to stretch their first win streak of the season to 3 games tonight as they open up a 3-game road trip in Portland when they take on the Trailblazers. Tip-off set for 9 o'clock. Game night San Antonio's coming up next right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
'Tis the season for savings at Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters. Save on 3M Window Tint, 100% legal to get your car dark, dark, dark. This is Texas, baby. 'Tis the season for dark window tint. We do tint front windshields. Yes, 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 we do. And it's perfectly legal, too. At Mother's Window Tint, 'tis the season to make your car go thump, thump, thump. Mother thump. Save on car stereos, amplifiers, and speakers. Save on car alarms. Save on remote starters. Stores in Austin and San Antonio. And on the web at motherswindowtint.com. Are you a people person and like cars? Maybe you can join our team. Contact us by Facebook or on our website, motherswindowtint.com. 'Tis the season to remember. Do it at Mothers and save.
Amy, I need to sell my car, but there's so many choices out there. What should I do?
Why not try Carzeus? We do things differently here. You get to talk to really nice people via phone call or text message. And because your time is valuable, we are by appointment only. Most people walk out in under an hour with cash in hand. Also, if you have an offer from the other guys, we'll do our best to compete and keep your business local.
What's the catch?
No catch. Just go to carzeus.com. That's CARZEUS.com. Answer a few questions about your vehicle, and we'll take it from there. Carzeus, where you, your time, and money are valuable.
When you're sick, injured, or experiencing a medical problem of any kind, the last thing you want to do is leave your home to find medical care. Now, thanks to Dispatch Health, you don't have to, because Dispatch Health comes to you. That's right. Receive high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the comfort of your own home when you need it. Just call or click, and Dispatch Health comes to your home, able to treat common to complex illnesses and injuries. It's really that simple. Go to dispatchhealth.com now to learn more and download the app so you're always just the touch of a button away from the quality health care you need. Dispatch Health is affordable and in-network with most health insurance plans, including Medicare. It's true, high-quality care from expertly trained medical professionals in the ease and comfort of your own home, all for an affordable price. So the next time you're sick or injured, stay home, stay comfortable, and let Dispatch Health come to you. Go to dispatchhealth.com and say hello to the modern-day house call. That's dispatchhealth.com. Go to dispatchhealth.com.
Hey folks, Bob at Barbecue Outfitters, and it's time for our giant holiday sale. Barbecue Outfitters is your holiday gift-giving headquarters for all the men and women in your life that love to cook in the backyard. It's the ultimate toy store in Central Texas. Barbecue Outfitters has dozens of grill brands, including the Big Green Egg, Kamado Joe, Traeger grills, Weber grills, and the incredible Tech infrared grills. Barbecue Outfitters has pellet grills, offset smokers, wood-burning fire pits made here in Texas, fireplace gas logs, and dozens of other grills and smokers all on sale. Barbecue Outfitters has great smaller gift items too, like spices, cooking accessories, cookbooks, and gift baskets. We're also offering a $50 delivery special that includes a big red bow, and best of all, we assemble for free. We call it the Save Your Marriage service. No more, hey, what do I do with all these extra parts? So get yourself down to Barbecue Outfitters for our giant holiday sale and get that gift that'll make you a hero. Barbecue Outfitters on North Loop 1604 at Chavano Park and at bbqoutfitters.com. Come and see us.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm gonna let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign, and only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The play is in. The Blitz with Jason Minix and Sports Insiders. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray.
This is Keldon Johnson from the San Antonio Spurs. This is San Antonio Sports Star.
It's game night San Antonio.
It is game night, San Antonio. Spurs, they have a game tonight.
They do.
Thought about them. They play the Portland Trailblazers tonight, and that's game night, San Antonio, because we're talking Cowboys and Saints.
You know, it's too bad that we're not talking enough about the Spurs, because I do believe this is a game that is winnable.
It is, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to grab you here. That is Rob Thompson. You hear him every morning on R&R in the morning. Used to hear him here in the afternoons. And quite frankly, I'm a little surprised to see you here at R&J Saloon on South Flores, because you did R&R in the morning. Then you were checking out the scenic views at Twin Peaks earlier today from noon to 2. Did you go get a nap and then roll down here?
I did indeed. I'm refreshed, renewed, and ready for some Miller Lite for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, Miller Lite's the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
They really are. And I figured, all right, we got ugly sweaters. Rob actually showing up because of the ugly sweaters.
If I'd have known that it had been closed, I'd have been here earlier.
Well, it's kind of scary to think of. And they keep pulling out more stuff. Now you can win, did I hear slippers? Now we pulled out some slippers and some scarves and all kinds of stuff. You want to win free stuff, get on down here to R&J Saloon.
A great bar on top of that. It's just a good bar down here on South Flores. You need to come down here. Miller Lite on special. We got Cowboys on all the TVs. Yeah, come be here.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Last time we were here, Charles Haley was here, and it got crazy. It got this week I got Rob Thompson. We'll see how
it
crazy.
Won't go Charles Haley crazy.
That's impossible.
No, it won't.
That's impossible. Although I am surprised that Rudy J hasn't showed up here. Although he called me and said my allergies, and I thought, that's the great excuse that I'm using tomorrow for not being on the Blitz from 4 to whenever because there's a UTSA game, and I'm willing to write your doctor's note. And hopefully you've got a boss that's willing to, you got tickets, go to the game. I'm never going to charge a PT up.
I think so. I think not. It should be a city holiday. We didn't get a lot of the holidays last year. They didn't count. This year should be like our parade day. Get down there for UTSA.
I agree, man. It's going to be so much fun in the Dome tomorrow. But let's talk a little Spurs because I know when I listen to R&R in the morning and then I listen to halftime and when I listen to the Blitz, which is me.
Good job.
Varying opinions on what the Spurs are doing. I know from noon to 2, it is all M1 Abrams tank.
That is the Jimenez style of Spurs freedom. Tank.
And that drives me nuts.
Yes.
Now, I say that. He kind of suckered me in last time I did a show 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, because I was like, all right, yeah, I mean, they just lost a couple ugly ones. And I look at who's on the floor and go, yeah, try to convince me or not. But he was upset. Pledge has been a little upset when they win. And isn't winning some of those close games like they've done the last 2 part of the process?
Yes. You've nailed it, Jason, because I think the best term I've heard is soft tank opposed to hard tank.
What the hell? I heard you guys talking about that today. What the hell is a soft tank?
Well, I think that the soft tank, you can tell by the players that are on the court with 2 minutes to go. For example, 2 years ago, when we were closing down games with Bryn Forbes and Marco Bellinelli, that's known as a hard tank.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting guys out there that have no chance of winning. A soft tank is you're putting young, talented guys out there that if everything goes well, they'll win the game and will play to win the game, but there's no reinforcements coming. There's no Thaddeus Young coming off the bench to help you through. You're going to get 4 or 5 minutes of some help, but you're going to have to go do it yourself. And most times that's not going to happen. That, to me, is called a soft tank. Again, organizations tank, players don't.
So basically the opposite of what we hear on a lot of commercials on this radio station.
That would be true.
That
I mean, there's the real world, and then there's the sports world, and we try to float in that nether area. But no, you're absolutely.
I mean, tanking is tanking, but I don't know of anybody that tanks in November, December. I mean, I will be full on board tank in February or March.
But we need 26 wins.
Well, because we can't do.
We got to turn the page on this.
Yeah. And I'm with you there. So what do we need? 20 more?
We're right there.
More, whatever it is. But I'm with January or February, March. It's a race for lottery balls at that point. But right now, play good basketball and let these guys get confidence. And we're seeing that. It looks like Derek White has turned the corner. And DeJounte has proven to be the guy. I thought this was going to be Keldon Johnson's year, and he's been the biggest disappointment for me this season.
I think Keldon is suffering. And remember the days when we had Tim and Tony going to the Olympics and Mono going to the Olympics and spending their summers playing elsewhere. And we would start the season with a bit of a hangover. The legs were a little stiff. It took him a while to round into form. And I think Keldon Johnson's going through that right now. I think he had a full summer of Olympic work. I think his youthful legs made him feel good coming into October. But now I think he's starting to feel those games that are starting to add up on him. I don't expect him to play like this later on. I think he'll have that gap, and we'll see the rodeo road trip kind of turn around, and we'll see Keldon find himself again. But right now, it feels like there's a lot of miles on those legs over the last year and a half.
And to be fair to Keldon, he's being asked to do a lot more than he was coming in.
More than he should be asked.
But I thought he was going to be the centerpiece. And so when I say the biggest disappointment, because when I've said that a couple of times already this year, I get some nasty tweets. And he's the biggest disappointment because I had the highest expectations for him. You know, you might tell me Derek White, sure. But my expectations for Derek White weren't where they were for Keldon Johnson.
We're talking about Keldon a lot like we did DeJounte for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We have high expectations for you. You don't get to be an average player. You were drafted to be something special, and DeJounte is becoming that, and Keldon will too. So I understand the point of view that he's been a bit, and I think he would be the first to agree with you. I don't think he's played up to the standards I think he set for himself.
Rob Thompson from R&R in the Morning joining us here live out at R&J Saloon on South Florida Street. Cowboys and Saints tonight. Then later you've got the Spurs and Trailblazers in a sort of national TV game. Locally, it's on Ken's on Channel 5, which probably pisses off people like Joe Ryan that goes, that means they got to stay at work till 11:30, 12 o'clock tonight. But then at the same time, it's on NBA TV, and we don't get national exposure. And with Dame Lillard hurt, this is a winnable game. When I looked at this 3-game West Coast road trip, boy, I thought, man, Slaughterhouse not worth staying up late for. But this tonight, they could get 3 in a row.
I do believe that's the plan. And one other thing we need to consider as we play tonight is when you watch the Spurs, this young team play, think about what had happened previously in the days before. They've had 2 full days to go and practice, 2-hour sweat practices, not walkthroughs in the hotel lobby, not, meeting for shoot around before the game after getting off a flight. These 15 guys have spent some time on the practice floor, and I expect to see a little bit of that show up tonight.
When you look at where this team is at right now, and again, expectations, I don't think anybody has any ridiculous expectations that they're a playoff team. But are you seeing the incremental growth? Back in the days when you and I were doing the Blitz together, used to talk about, I just want to see incremental growth from game to game. Are you seeing what you are hoping to see at this point?
I have over the last week. We have, but we had hit this gulch where they were playing well for 3 quarters but couldn't put it together to close. And they went through this over and over for several weeks, and it felt like they were stuck in the mud. So I was a little concerned about that. But, over the last 2, they especially against we beat the Celtics, and then we beat the Wizards. They gave up the lead. They had to go get it and bring it back against the Wizards team, and that was the incremental growth I'm looking for. Are they going to win all those games? No, but be competitive to the last minute. Don't let it slip away like we saw it happen for the first late October into mid-November.
That was just aggravating.
Yeah.
Just frustrating. And then I look at the Boston game, and I know matchups have played a key part of this because we haven't played a dominant big. We don't have one of those.
No.
But the Boston game where you blow a 24-point lead and go get it back, that was growth I want to see.
Yes.
We call that on the Blitz, we call that silver and black linings.
That's it. Silver and black linings is perfectly put. And really for Spurs fans, that's what you should hope to see this year. They're understaffed. They just don't have the guys they need to win all of the time. And the ones that they do have that would help, they're not playing. I mean, Thaddeus Young would probably have been responsible for maybe 2 wins if he'd have played as many minutes as I think he thought he was going to play. So that's the soft tank. You're not going to put him in because there are some games that, quite frankly, we want to be competitive. But if we lost, it's another ping pong ball, and I think that should be the mentality for us for the rest of the year. But we're not tanking.
Sure.
Never. We're not tanking.
Not in the 2021 part of the 21-22 season.
And keep in mind, we're still a short deck. We still haven't seen Zach Collins. And that is a vital part of what I believe Pop felt like this offense will be, to have your bigs pull out, get out of the lane, open up the lane for all these slashing scorers like Lonnie and Derek and DeJounte, and get your threes from your bigs instead of your mid-sized guys. And when we get Zach back in and we get a little bit more of Aussie Strap, as we like to call him, if Jock Strap... If the Strap can get some more minutes.
Must be in your 7 a.m. hour. I haven't heard that yet. I don't hear that much.
He's the Strap. So if we can get that in, I do think that we haven't seen what Pop envisioned when he was putting this team together.
I don't think I want to see the Strap at 7 a.m.
I haven't met him face-to-face yet, but I eventually want to tell him that he's earned a nickname.
I'm going to guess he's heard that one before.
I would like to think he has.
I would hope.
What do they call an athletic supporter in Australia?
Strap.
I would like to think.
Strap.
Is it a jock strap in Australia? I know the water spins a different way when it goes down a toilet. Maybe it's a strap jock.
Either way, it's still strap. It's still strap.
I'll let you tell him that he's a big man.
What do you think of Thad?
I think Thad is angry, frustrated. He's an NBA starter. and to be sent here to be sentenced here, much like DeMar was, but not even get the DeMar treatment, to get 4 and 5 minutes a game. I think he has to realize that he knows he's better than any other post on this team. He knows it.
I look at that, and I know his wife had a post, and he went on a podcast this week, and we talked about it a lot yesterday. I'm a bigger fan of Thad for what he said on that podcast. Yet, he's not going all John Wall or some of these other guys. He's showing up and he's doing his work, but he's not happy, and he didn't want to be here. I quite frankly am surprised he ever showed up. I thought the Spurs would have dealt him before the start of the season, but it's the catch-22 because they don't want to take on a bad contract to go with it. He understands the business, and maybe Pop's doing him a favor by not putting miles on those old legs. So he's getting a wasted year at this point in his career, which sucks for him, but it's not like he's going 25 minutes a night, losing every night too.
No, he is who he is. The NBA knows who he is, whether he's playing or not. There are teams calling about him, and you hit it on the head. Is it worth moving him to take a salary cap hit next year when we'll have the money to go overpay a free agent? I don't envision him being a Spur at the end of the year. I think that they will acquiesce and maybe buy him out around the trade deadline like we did LaMarcus and let him just go be you, and we'll figure things out and not have him affect our future salary cap. Or on the other side of this, and I believe in Pop's mind, he's never coaching for the lottery. If things turn, he's an important piece. I mean, he could literally be an important piece to a playoff run. And while we've talked process, I do believe that with COVID out here right now, if you are close, you might have a shot. And maybe it's worth Pop hanging around and getting a playoff win with these young guys and getting a series of 3 or 4 wins in the playoffs. And it might be time for that. I'm not sure. And if we do get there, Thaddeus Young will play a huge role in that because he's been there.
I've become a big fan of Thad listening to that podcast.
Didn't he feel like a Spur? He felt like a Spur that didn't want to be a Spur, you know?
I mean, he's got everything that the Spurs could have used, I don't know, in 2012, 13, and 14. Exactly. He would have been great on those teams. Now, release him. Let him sign with Golden State or Phoenix and go chase a ring.
I think he's such a good guy, and we have a history of that. We paid Damari Carroll, we let him go, we let LaMarcus go, and this was part of a deal that he didn't want to be a part of. The sad fact is, I think Pop knows, and he knows how much he could help this team. He really could be a piece further down the road, but it's just too much money for a guy that, quite frankly, doesn't have as many years left as we need.
Rob Thompson from R&R in the morning, weekday 7 to 10. You hate your alarm clock yet?
You know what, Jason? For the first 4 months, we went at it pretty hard, and it was the newness of it. After Thanksgiving, the alarm has become my enemy. This, for the very first time on Monday, I actually slept through my alarm. Really? I woke up 30 minutes after it should have gone off. I mean, it had been going off for 30 minutes. I slept through it. So I'm hitting the dog days. Now I'm understanding the morning syndrome that all the radio and TV types have dealt with for all these years.
Next week at this time, you and I are going to be in New York City for the Army-Navy game presented by USAA, which is always one of my favorite trips. And when you came to work at the radio station, about 5 years ago, I was telling you about it, and you were like, sounds fun. All right, let's go. And now you get it.
It is literally the best thing that we do. It is the best thing that we do. We get to do a lot of great things, but when you combine the event that is Army-Navy and just the atmosphere of the different academies and all of the history that goes along with it, and we're accustomed to Philadelphia and we've been to Baltimore, but this year on the anniversary of 9/11, you're going to be broadcasting from the flight deck of the USS Intrepid.
No, let's correct something there. The USS Intrepid is a great aircraft carrier. I am not signing up to do my show on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier in New York City in the middle of December. I'll be on the ship.
We'll be someplace.
And I've got experience on a ship. I could go find a good warm spot to broadcast from out of the wind. I might walk on the flight deck just to see how cool it is, but I ain't sitting out there for 3 hours doing a radio
show. When is Fleet Week? I've always heard stories of Fleet Week in New York. Have you ever been a part of the Fleet Week in New York?
I have. Well, in a way I have. So I was stationed in Earl, New Jersey, which is an hour. I mean, it took us an hour on the subway and a bus to get there. From Earl, New Jersey, from the pier, you can see the skyline of New York City. So we didn't get the fun Fleet Week of pulling in. But we just took the subway in. Basically, You're an Aggie.
I don't know how this applies, but I'm in.
Well, I mean, so take all the Aggies at a tailgate.
I got you.
From a gazillion fraternities.
Combine that with desperation and alcohol, and you get a pretty typical Aggie Friday night. I got you.
Yeah, that's Fleet Week in New York City,
where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
They fly them in from all over. It's a great time. It is a great time. Rob's going to stick around. We'll talk some Cowboys and Saints as we continue here live from R&J Saloon on South Flores. The game's coming up, but we ain't going anywhere. $2 Miller Lights all night long, and plenty of free ugly sweaters for you to potentially win here at R&J Saloon here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250. Pledge, I don't understand the look. Oh, we got to give away the Eagles tickets. If you want to go see the Eagles, the band, sometime in May
19th, I believe, in the brand new, beautiful Moody Center.
Yeah, caller number, I don't know.
Are the Eagles 12. A country band?
They're kind of turning that. It depends on who's singing. If Deacon Fry is singing, no. If Vince Gill is, sort of maybe.
I think they're a country band.
I think they're. It depends.
Now, I was led to believe that this is the Hotel California tour, so they're going to the Eagles, as they are still incorporated, whether it's Vince Gill or Jackson Brown, whoever comes with them, they're going to play the entire Hotel California record, front and back, and then they're going to play their greatest hits. That's kind of the concert I want from the Eagles.
I remember seeing their Hell Freezes Over tour twice, which was supposed to be their final show.
Well, that's never
then I saw their third farewell tour, and then I saw the comeback tour with Deacon Fry's first time playing with the Eagles after his dad passed. That was out in California at Dodger Stadium a couple years ago. Incredible. You want to go? Since we're talking Navy, let's go caller number 12, Roger Staubach. 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Caller 12, you will win those Eagles tickets for late next year right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a gridiron showdown. Catch all the action tonight starting at 7:20. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign, and only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at exergen.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
Hey, Dallas Cowboy fans, you know the place to be tonight is at R&J Saloon down on South Flores Street. Jay Semenix here. We are live right now at R&J Saloon with the Blitz and our friends at Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys, because we're having a huge watch party for tonight's Cowboys-Saints game. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite long necks during the game. You can also register to win some great Miller Lite Dallas Cowboy gear and other great holiday stuff. So get down here to R&J Saloon right now on South Flores Street.
Great news, Slackers! Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar is now opening at noon 7 days a week at all 4 area locations. North Star, St. Mary's, Slackadochis, and the Medical Center. Slackers is the home for 7-day-a-week happy hour, now starting at noon every day. And by popular demand, Slackers brings back the signature frozen drinks. Bring a date, bring a crew, or come on down solo. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar serves you up all your favorites and quenches your thirst 7 days a week, starting every day at noon. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack.
but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
It's heart-stopping, rim-wrecking, ball-arching action.
All 3, got it!
College hoops are happening, and we've got the action and excitement you love. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey Alexa, what's for lunch? San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix, and we are live out at R&J Saloon on South Flores Street, getting you ready for Cowboys and Saints. Of course, you can listen to it here on San Antonio Sports Star, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. But come watch it with us. Listen to the game while you're driving down here. $2 Miller Lite long necks all game long, and your chance to win plenty of ugly Christmas sweater gear from Miller Lite while they last. There's all kinds of stuff still available to you, so come hang out. I ain't going anywhere. But it's been a fun time. Want to thank our friends at Miller Lite for hosting us down here in R&J Saloon. A lot of fun, and I tell you what, I've gone back and forth in this game. I know the Cowboys are without their head coach tonight and several other coaches. I know there could be some hiccups with Dan Quinn taking over for Mike McCarthy tonight, but I want to see the Cowboys dominate tonight. That offense needs to get on track. The defense needs to get on track. New Orleans is going with Taysom Hill, and they're without their 2 tackles. Welcome back, Demarcus Lawrence. You get a JV offensive line to welcome you back after a long absence. This should be a fun one tonight. I expect the Cowboys to win and win big. Brad Sham and Babe Laufenberg will take it the rest of the way. That'd do it for us. We'll not talk to you tomorrow. I'm taking the day off. Go Roadrunners.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at sasportsstar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000.